Hi everyone, Tony from Hack the Movies here, and today we're talking about Shaun of the Dead because it's 20 years old.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's bad news?
Time keeps going, and I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yes, let's talk about this movie we all love today on Talking About Tapes, although I guess this is Hack the Movies. We're counting this as Hack the Movies. There's no difference. Who cares?
I don't.
Hi, Angela. Welcome back.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. A few months back, I tried to start a dinosaur exhibit.
How'd that go?
It didn't go well. I got a
sorry to
cease and
hear that.
desist.
Oh.
Yeah. Thanks for helping me set it up, though.
I mean, I had all of the faith in you.
I'm sorry I lied about the legality of it, but
But your graphics on point.
And hello, Tom.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. It is. It is good to know.
High energy today.
Sorry. Ask it again. Ask it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Tom. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing awesome.
Wow.
Seriously, like Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, God.
Shaun
we're
of the
all
Dead.
pumped. And we all wore some of us wore zombie shirts.
Yeah.
I tried.
I got my Hulk Hogan zombie shirt. By the way, this glows in the dark, and I didn't know that when I bought it. It's like the one day I was
That's awesome.
going down the stairs, like, what is on my I just bought it because it's Hulk Hogan as a zombie. That's so cool. Everyone loves Hulk Hogan. What has he ever done wrong? We got to talk about Shaun of the Dead.
Yes. Yes, we do.
The Edgar Wright classic. When did you first see this?
Oh my gosh. I did not see it in theaters, but like shortly after it came out, because I was always into zombie stuff.
How'd you get into zombie stuff?
Resident Evil 4, obviously.
Resident Evil 4. I thought that came out. Did that come out after Shaun of the Dead?
No.
Which one?
I think
The
Oh, yeah,
OG?
sorry. There's 15 Resident Evil 4.
I know. Well, that's a good question.
Resident Evil 4, I think, was probably like, hold on.
Oh, now we got to fact check me. What is
Resident
it?
Evil 4 is 2005. Shaun of the Dead didn't get in there.
The next
Oh,
year.
man, I just lied to everyone on your podcast show.
I mean, you probably didn't watch Shaun of the Dead till after playing Resident Evil 4. That's fine. That's fine.
I'm sorry. Are you disappointed in me now?
No, it's just we've covered some of the Resident Evil movies, so if you fucked up a detail in that, the fans will let you know.
Oh, man. Okay.
If it was Silent Hill or something, I would have let it slide. But we haven't gotten to those movies, but we've covered Resident Evil. So you like zombie stuff because of
do.
Resident Evil
Yes.
4, specifically 4.
Yeah, obviously. Duh.
I streamed the remake last year. Yeah, what did you think of Shaun of the Dead?
So much fun. I forgot how fun it was
Yeah.
when I did this rewatch. Like, in a really good way, it felt like, when you're making a painting and then you, like, fold the paper and it comes out and now the painting's, like, mirrored on either side.
Yeah, that's very relatable. I do that all the time. Me and Tom have painting nights.
All the time.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, yeah, when you paint
You
and
do.
fold.
What is
I'm
it called?
like, I haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah, I don't recall doing that ever, but I'm learning how to do it now.
The ink blot ones.
Yes, the Rorschach or whatever.
Yes,
yes.
those.
Okay,
That's what
now-
I'm envisioning.
Okay.
How have we
okay.
never done this before?
That's good symbolism. I'm not, with some of the reverse stuff that goes on in the
I
movie.
just love how
but,
casually. It's like, when you do that, I'm like,
Like, I thought that was like a normal Saturday
I
night.
don't think it's a normal.
Oh, okay.
everyone has their own Saturday night. Yeah. Whatever.
Apparently.
Whatever
You
it
guys
is
are really
to them.
missing out.
Look, we do cool things like dissect every version of Alien 3 here. Like normal people, actually.
Oh,
Normal people.
I mean, clearly.
But yeah, did you watch zombie movies before this?
What a great question. I don't
It was
know.
This came out like right before the zombie trend really took off. It was like Resident Evil, the Dawn of the Dead remake, and then it like exploded. When did you first see Shaun of the Dead?
All right, so mine is an upsetting story.
Okay.
I was with a group of friends. We were going to the movie theater, normal stuff, except Shaun of the Dead was playing, and so was another movie that I didn't want to see.
Okay.
Majority ruled in this situation, and we did not see Shaun of the Dead. We saw some horrible Sarah Jessica Parker movie.
Ooh.
Horrible movie. It's terrible. I was so mad. I immediately, not immediately, because back then it's a little harder. 20 years ago, it was a little harder to get things, but I illegally downloaded it as soon as I possibly could. And I was like, oh my God, this is such an amazing movie.
It's good.
And it has become on my top 5.
And were you familiar with zombie movies at that point?
Yes, Dawn of the Dead remake is.
Yeah.
And then after that came out, a friend of mine was just like, "You have to watch Zombie." And I'm like, "Wait, what's Zombie? Zombie 2? Wait, Zombie 2?" And then just like, "Let me tell you the story." And then it's just
original Dawn of the Dead is technically Zombie 1 and Zombie 2 is like Italians.
That confusion immediately. I was
Italians
hooked.
Italians
After all of that
worst
confusing
at
bullshit.
sequels. They're so bad at Troll 2, a movie about goblins, has nothing to do with Troll 1. I didn't get to see this in theaters. But I didn't have to, because I owned it on DVD. Because this came out a year before in the UK, and I heard about it on like horror forums.
Okay.
Because I might have mentioned this a couple times. Girls didn't talk to me in high school, so I did things like go on horror forums and talk to fucking nerds. So I knew about this movie, and then I went to my first Monster Mania Con 2.
Oh, wow.
Because again, I didn't have any plans that weekend because girls were not talking to me in high school. So I would go to horror conventions and they had a bootleg of it because it had been out in like England. So they just bootlegged it. So I bought this movie like months before it came to theaters. And people were like, I really want to see that Shaun of the Dead movie. I'm like, I have a bootleg at home.
Lucky bastard.
I heard so many good things about it. And I was getting real into zombie movies at that point, like the Romero stuff. You know, Paul W. Anderson's Resident Evil, the classic zombie film, and a bunch of others. And I was like, all right, let me check out Shaun of the Dead. And I turned it on like that night. I bought 2 movies. I bought The Grudge, Ju-on the Grudge, and Shaun of the Dead. And I put The Grudge on first, and it scared me. And I was like, it's really late. I'm like, I'm too afraid to go to bed. Let me put Shaun of the Dead on. And I was like, this is the funniest goddamn thing I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I love this movie so much. It was like a big part of high school was like just watching this movie over and over again.
Yeah, this movie impacted me immensely. Like I said, it's in my top 5. When it comes to greatest trilogies of all time,
You're a fan of the Cornetto?
The Cornetto Trilogy to me is like pretty much my number 1.
It's pretty
It's
good.
up there.
I like The World's End, but not as much as the other 2. We'll talk about it one day.
Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead are just, they're untouchable.
That is what
I will argue any of you.
Like a third movie,
Find me.
It's really hard when your first 2 entries are so good. It's it's like, well, I hope the third one's better, but like if it's just okay, that's fine.
And it was not bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It was not a bad movie.
Yeah, so this goes back a while though, because they did a show called Spaced. Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost is in it. There's a bunch of people. I didn't know at the time. I didn't see Spaced until it hit DVD, like in 2008 when it finally like came to America on DVD, and then I bought it. I didn't realize like how much space stuff was in Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, 80% of the cast is in
Yeah,
Shaun
most
of the Dead.
of the cast, and it would have been more. The dog from Space was supposed to have a cameo.
Even the dog.
Space is a great show. And what they did in that show, they're telling this like fun story, but there's like all these references to things that they liked, like at the time and like from the past. And it's very 90s. It feels like a very 90s show.
It looks very 90s too.
But there's a very famous episode. It's actually my favorite episode. I think it's the artist episode.
Okay.
Where Brian has to go to his like ex-partner's art thing or whatever.
Yep.
In that episode, Simon Pegg's character is playing Resident Evil 2, and he's playing it way too much.
And he actually took speed from a random person at a bar.
Yeah.
The night before, so he was up all night.
They never say they're on drugs in the
He said
show, but it's
speed.
heavily implied. It's kind of like
He says speed.
oh, he does.
He literally
Okay.
said, "I got a bad bit of speed from this guy down at the
So
at
he's
the pub."
high as hell, just playing Resident Evil 2 throughout most of the episode. Like he doesn't really even have a story in the episode. He's just playing it constantly. And he has to go to this art show at the end where everyone's dressed weird, and he starts hallucinating that everyone is zombies.
And a lot of the like camera angles and camera work and like it's incredibly similar because you can tell it directly came from it in the movie later.
And I guess they had fun doing that episode, and they're like, we should do like our own zombie movie at some point. And that was the origin of Shaun of the Dead. So Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright wrote this.
Edgar Wright, genius. I'm going to
Yes.
say that numerous times for everyone to
also,
hear. Edgar Wright is a
I
genius.
have to apologize again. I still haven't watched Last Night in Soho.
It's good.
I keep saying I'm going to watch it,
It's not.
I haven't seen it.
We're.
I wanted to.
I don't think we're the demographic. I'll be honest.
I mean, I'll watch anything.
It's still good, but I don't think it's for us.
I don't know. Was the movie Soul Man for me? I watched that and reviewed that.
No.
It was a good episode. You should watch the Soul Man episode.
All right, I guess I will.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen Last Night in Soho. I liked Baby Driver.
Baby Driver, top 5.
Really? I didn't rewatch Baby Driver.
Edgar Wright he's my man.
I feel like the Kevin Spacey stuff happened too soon after Baby
it happened
Driver,
at the
and it kind of like
it happened at the exact same time. Like the trailer for the theater was out, and then
really, I thought
and
it was
then
a little
like
bit afterwards.
and the
Either
court
way,
case was after the
close.
commercial break.
Because I'm like, everyone really liked Baby Driver. Why doesn't anyone talk about it? I'm like, kind of got
Yeah.
overshadowed by the whole Kevin Spacey thing. So, whatever. But yeah, want to go through this film. Do you have any other behind the scenes stuff? You know a lot about
Yeah.
this movie. How about
this
you, Angela?
movie.
Do you know everything about this movie?
Not everything, no.
Who did the catering?
You know, I wanted to tell you, but then I thought, why not leave it a surprise to the end of the episode? Keep people
That's smart.
the whole time,
That's
right?
a good strategy. Honestly, I wouldn't have thought of that.
So just gotta wait and see.
Yeah. So we'll start here, and I watched a lot of behind the scenes before this, and some of the commentary
That's
tracks.
what my day was. It was.
You know what I forgot to watch on the DVD?
What?
The plot hole featurettes.
I watched those. Don't worry. You're
Okay, good.
You're good. I got all of them. They're all up
they
here.
made like little motion comics for like like when Shaun leaves them. They have a motion comic for that. They
when he gave him the slip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have Diana's ending. She survives, by the
She's-
way,
yeah.
but you only know
for her.
if you watch these things. Anyway,
This is what I missed.
yeah.
Well, it's
from
only
streaming it on Amazon.
I know.
that is the special
Really
features.
disappointed.
People forget how good like DVDs and Blu-rays are.
Right?
Although there are some
Physical
modern.
media. It's just this crazy thing. I love it.
I will say though, like major studios that put out like Blu-rays, like their featurettes are kind of lame. You don't get like people fighting in the commentary tracks or yelling at each other anymore. You don't get 17 shots of Nick Frost getting a needle in his ass. We'll circle back to that. That's something that's on the DVD. So the movie starts off with some Dawn of the Dead music. I think specifically it's the music from when they go to the helicopter to get fueled. We meet Shaun, and he's in the middle of an argument. And I love how this conversation is like written and edited. Apparently it was like the hardest thing to write for them.
Did it remind you of like a comedy British version of how The Social Network started? Of like that like breakup conversation between the two of them?
I only saw The Social Network once.
That's what I was like thinking of. I was like, this is like, that was also really fun, but this was like really fun in its own.
It's fun because you
Wait.
think it's just them because the camera's
Yeah.
so tight. And it's like, it's not like I don't like Ed. And then you realize Ed is there.
Right?
like
Right
the
at-
pan over.
And then like it pans out even more. And it's like, oh, it's not like I don't like Dave and Diane. Which on the commentary, it's funny when it cuts to them. I think Simon Pegg says it's Harry Potter and Britney Spears.
Yes.
Like they kind of look
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So we find out that Liz is upset because Shaun is always hanging out with Ed, who's his loser friend he can't get rid of. And the only time they get alone time is when they go to Liz's, but then she has to like kick out her roommates, which exacerbates things.
Exacerbate.
I didn't know what that word was until I saw this movie.
Same.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Did you
I
know
mean-
what the word was?
I don't remember the first time I heard that word.
I just thought it sounded a lot like masturbate. So like, it's
That's why it's like seared in your brain.
it stuck with me instantly, and now I try to use it as often as I can to
I thought-
sound
I thought-
smart.
Educational.
Angela, I
Yes.
thought you were going to be like, well, yeah, as I was studying my dictionary while making Rorschach paintings.
Obviously, that is how I spent my childhood. And when I need to relax, that's what I do nowadays.
So yeah, we find out some other details, like she hasn't met his mom, and they've been together for like 4 years?
Yeah, they've been together for a while.
Yeah, and it's not like his mom lives far away. You should probably introduce. I don't know. I don't care about introducing whoever I date to my parents. Like, yeah, they're around. You'll see them.
Not like a formal introduction, but like they didn't have any. They didn't even have like a passing in the street.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. So yeah, he basically tells her like, okay, I'm gonna book the place tomorrow that does all the fish. I love that. That's what he
Does
calls
all
it,
the fish.
place that does all the fish. And he's gonna get it together, and then we get a really cool introduction. This is the music intro, where everyone we see in this intro becomes a zombie later on. I'm sorry, hold on. Yeah. Early. This is usually she waits till the middle of the episode. Come here.
She's just so excited to talk about the movie.
Okay, she's not coming here. Let me kick her out. She might kill Tom.
Uh-oh. Wow.
It's possible.
Rude.
Yeah, very rude.
Why doesn't she like you?
No, he's allergic.
Yeah.
Oh.
So as I was saying, before I had to save Tom's life, this intro is pretty fun with the music.
Dun, 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 dun.
And I love how they're all acting like zombies. Like everyone's
Yes.
just kind of spaced out.
Mm-hmm.
The guys with all their headphones up and down.
Yeah, but you got to pay attention to the intro because everybody,
Literally,
Yes.
everybody
everyone.
comes back. Every person that you see.
We even get to see Mary when she's alive.
Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. I forgot to write down the specifics.
Okay.
But
Oh, I wrote them down. Don't
oh, you
worry.
did. Good.
I
Good.
paused it with the captions
Nice.
on.
That's
I meant
the
to
way to
do
do
that,
it.
and I forgot.
I came with my notes. Don't you worry.
Thank you.
you know how everyone has like a movie they can recite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
You're like, no notes.
By the way,
I got these.
feel
like,
free
I
to
got a few
interrupt
notes.
me and let me know if I'm missing anything.
I got a
Everyone's-
couple
Missing
notes. This is just the
everything.
stuff that I learned. So like,
new notes.
yeah, basically, it's just like, ooh, I learned these things. Bad. Like honestly, I was almost gonna call you earlier. Well, I did call you earlier, but I was gonna call you earlier to ask. Can we just have it playing in the background on silent? Because there's so much shit that I want to say about this movie. Like honestly, there's so much in it.
If
and
you
it's
feel
so
like
in
you have
depth.
more to say, we could do a commentary track.
All right.
I might need
there's-
to.
Yeah, I don't want to like be a hog. You know, I just love this movie.
So we meet Pete, played by Peter Serafinowicz.
Yep.
Right? Did I
Yep.
get that right?
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
Who everyone knows as the voice of Darth Maul. He's the voice of the original Darth Maul.
Really?
Not anymore, but yeah, the Phantom Menace. He's the voice of Darth Maul.
What?
Okay.
That's why there's a scene in Spaced. So the first season of Spaced, they shot it before Phantom Menace came out, and they were excited for it. And I guess they were happy like Pete was in it. So they have him like, they have a scene where he like basically quotes his line from like the trailer, and they make him all red. And then the second season was after Phantom Menace, and most of that season is about how much they hated Phantom Menace. Like Simon Pegg burns all his Star Wars stuff, and it's like when Luke burns Darth Vader at the end. It's pretty great.
It's good.
So yeah, Pete is Sean's other roommate who's more professional. He's got like a job now, and he's
the normal job. He's got the car. You know.
Yes, and he wants to kick Ed out. He's like, you got to get rid of this guy. You got to get rid of this guy. And actually watching,
Well, they partied back in college or whatever. Like,
yeah. Watching this now as an adult, like they're in their late 20s, but like, I haven't watched this in a while, but like now I'm in my early 30s. I'm like, oh yeah, that was a thing where like everyone always has like one or two friends where it's like, all right, dude, you got to like grow up a little bit here. I know I say that as I sit in a basement full of toys.
Yeah, I was about to say,
stuff.
when you say college friends,
No.
you are quite literally my college friend.
No. Not
That's-
you. I mean, like the guy who just like wants to get high all the time
Okay,
and like
I gotcha.
do the partying thing. It's like, man, I just want to sit in and just, I don't know. Do girls have this problem?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like to like different degrees. I feel like there's always also like your girlfriend who's like dating like the worst guys all the time.
Yeah.
And you're just like, all right, we're like, we learned our lesson in college. Like, let's mature.
At some point, it's just like, how many times can you learn this lesson? I think you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that happens sometimes.
But yeah, no, there's always like a couple. I'm not gonna name anyone, obviously. But there are some like guy friends where you have to like distance yourself. It's like, all right, man, I don't really want to talk about like those jokes are fun in private, but we're at a bar in front of people. Maybe let's not tell some of those jokes out loud. So yeah, because Ed is constantly like just being rude
And inappropriate.
He's
It's just
super inappropriate.
like even when he's like calling places. Oh, your mom's engaged. That was fast.
yeah. It's like, all right, come on, man, can you just stop?
Please.
But Sean feels bad. He's can't like shake him off. So he's like, all right, I'll talk to Ed. We'll figure it out.
Does Ed have a bedroom?
No.
Or does he just stay on their
He
couch?
just sleeps on the couch.
Like,
He's,
okay.
he's really that.
Remember, the whole thing is like he stayed over for a night and never left.
I feel like that's like the difference between watching this like 20 years later was like that didn't bother me. I don't remember that being so upsetting.
Yeah.
I was just very much like, I don't know, this dude just needs to get to work. And Ed's over here leaving the door open and
Yeah.
like making lots of
Constantly.
loud noises.
He sold weed like one time
Yeah,
to
I do like
some
that.
of his friends.
He's like, I like when he's just like, yeah, we had some good times. Remember when we drank apple schnapps and
Stayed up all night and watched played
played
Tekken
Tekken 2? And he's like, yeah, what was that? He's like, 5 years ago. Yeah, it's
When's he
fun.
going home?
It's fun 5 years ago. It's not anymore. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of lines from earlier in the movie that show up later in the movie.
Yeah.
And-
Again.
Again, like the painting.
Just like
Obviously.
You're really trying to
There's-
make this analogy work, and I appreciate your dedication.
It works.
it's there.
It makes
it's,
sense.
It's a little loose, but it's there. I can see it.
See,
Well, this
Tom's
is
got
the
me.
fun version of this exchange where he's like, top left, reload, nice shot. I'm like, okay, that's fun. This is a very rewatchable movie.
Yeah.
I mean, we've probably
Yeah.
rewatched it too many times,
A
but
ridiculous
like,
amount of times, an insane amount of times.
If you put this movie on once and you enjoy it, put it on a couple more times. You're gonna pick up on new things.
You can watch the movie again, and it's a different movie if you just watch the background. Like, honest to God, so much happens in the
Yeah.
background, foreshadowing. It's insane.
So
I like that too, though, about like pre-streaming
Mm-hmm.
that it took. It's still like in the like DVD VHS era, but it still had that idea of like it. People weren't always pausing it the way that like I feel like Netflix shows put in like little gags that you're supposed to like pause
Yeah.
and read the screen when it like pops up on a newspaper. It's a gag.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like I like that they put in all that work before they knew people are going to be streaming this and watching it just like on repeat
and like
all the time.
dissecting it.
And,
Like,
yeah,
people
exactly.
weren't really dissecting things frame by frame at that point.
Exactly. Yeah.
There weren't assholes like us talking
No.
about movies for over an hour.
No, at least not enough of them.
Back then, if some guy was like, I'm going to talk about RoboCop for an hour and 45 minutes, he'd be like, who the fuck's this loser? Now it's like, Tom, we have to talk about RoboCop for an hour and 40. And we got to come back later this year and talk about all the other ones.
Yeah.
Ooh, aren't you lucky?
So lucky.
We're not including the made-for-TV movies. I decided to be nice to you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
It'll be the first time I watch one of those.
All right. So yeah, Ed has a shirt that says, I got wood. There were a couple shirts considered, and I think Nick Frost wears it in the behind-the-scenes footage. There was one that says, I'm here about the blowjob. I need to get this shirt.
there was another shirt as well, and his doppelganger later on in the movie is wearing it.
What did it say? Do you know what it
I
said?
heart pussy.
Wow.
Yep.
They went with,
That's
like,
what the
the-
shirt was supposed to be.
They went with the one
The
that...
subtle one.
Yeah, they went with the one that was just like, this might have to play on airplanes, and we can't shoot all these scenes with a different shirt.
Uh-huh.
Well, how strict are the rules over in the UK?
2004, I don't know.
Probably not. I mean, it depends. These days, I mean, you get...
Well, yeah,
These
but-
days, the cops show up if you're mean on Facebook, so who fucking knows? But... I think it's more just for like international versions,
Yeah.
and it's just like, all right, well, the I got wood and it's wood logs. It's like a double meaning. I'm here about the blowjob. There's really no other way to read
Yeah.
that.
No, there's not, but that sounds amazing.
It's not like a Rorschach painting where you can interpret other things.
You can interpret it.
Dreaming of this tonight, Tony.
I want fan art of Angela as Rorschach from Watchmen,
Please.
but like with paints. Like,
Yes.
That's amazing.
Okay, new plan, everyone.
okay. Yeah, I want that. I'm here about the blowjob
Mm-hmm.
shirt. By the way, late 90s, early 2000s, you would buy shirts with wacky sayings on them at Spencer's Gifts.
Yeah.
Not as common these days.
No, thank goodness.
Well, I mean, I sell a shirt that says fine and fun, so I mean, it's okay to want those shirts.
That's
Tom.
classy, Tony.
Thank
Way
you.
different.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. Thank
Way
you so
different.
much. I'm all about classy shirts as I wear this Hulk Hogan glow in the dark zombie.
Yes,
shirt.
quality. So do we talk about when they broke up, or did we
We're getting
already
there.
start?
Definitely
Okay.
didn't.
We're getting there. I do like that. Pete tries to get through to Ed. He's like, "Will you clean up, man? Will you do this?" He's like, "Fine." Then as he's leaving, he's just got "I am a big prick" or whatever
Oh, yeah.
on his back. We never see Pete come home. We're like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
the
did you
repercussions.
Then we get the long tracking shot.
Beautiful
Yes.
piece
Yes.
of cinema.
Again,
honestly.
and again, this is another it gets repeated later on.
The
A
oneer.
lot-
We can just call it the oneer. 'Cause
Yes.
that's what it is.
The a lot of this movie, the early setup feels like they said like the 70s Invasion of the Body Snatcher, where there's like little hints that something's happening. But yeah, he's like going to the shop. He sees the kid playing soccer, the guy getting in the car.
And each one of these people, remember them well.
Remember all of them.
All of them.
Including the guy who's on his way to a wedding.
Mm-hmm. The guy walking,
Yes.
the homeless guy walking his dog, the little boy with the soccer ball.
Whatever happened to that dog? We never find out what happens to that dog.
We don't. It was off screen. It's okay.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
In that, both times we go through that one shot, there are so many cat posters. What is that about?
I don't know. That was
Did
funny.
you
There was,
notice
like,
the
missing
lost
cats.
cat?
I did not notice
They're
that,
like
actually.
everywhere. And so my theory is it's not the GM crops. It is.
You think it's the cat?
I think it's the cat.
I feel like they left. I feel like it's one of those things where they didn't want you to know what it was, so they threw in like
definitely.
things
they
like
threw
that.
different
like,
little.
is it this? Is
Yeah.
it that?
My theory is the cat. Because then the second time around, they're all cut up.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it.
Right?
Now that's
Okay.
a good. That actually, because
Just
I
saying.
noticed the cat today,
Yeah.
and I was like, huh.
That
Yeah.
was when I paused on to read the pamphlet.
Yeah, and I remember looking at the missing cat poster, and I was like, man, what would I do if my cat went missing?
Meh.
And I'm like, I wouldn't have to buy insulin anymore, and I could like get a good night's sleep and be happy for one. It would be terrible if I lost my cat. Anyway, I promise I don't hate her that much. She's just very annoying.
So the oneer, they actually shot on the first day.
Really, that was the first one. they
Day
shot?
one was I think it was the normal one, not the zombified
Okay,
one.
yeah, well that made more sense. Yeah.
But still, that's
Yeah.
like an ambitious
That's
shot.
how
for
they
your day
open.
one.
I mean, that's a hard
nuts.
shot to get.
Well, it's one of the hardest shots to get in like the entire movie.
Yeah. I mean, we worked on something that had to be one take.
Yeah.
I wasn't there that day. I was there for the setup for it, and that was like rough to get through.
Yeah, no, I worked on things like that. And
It's hard.
Once
It's
you get to
hard.
take 14,
Yeah.
you're like, cool, this 10-hour day is going swimmingly. I hope there's not 3 more hours of this.
And this is legit, like all one take. There's no like
Yeah.
secret cuts or anything like that.
Not until he's in the shop.
Not until yeah. So we see Sean's job. He's an assistant manager at like an
appliance?
Yeah, an appliance store.
Retail store?
And he can't get any respect from the younger employees, including the bad guy from Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Wait, what?
Noel. He's the bad guy from Jurassic World: Fallen
Oh my
Kingdom.
God, he is!
Yeah. You probably didn't recognize him.
I
'cause he
did
was-
not, because
he was
chubby.
like thin in Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. I don't know. When I saw Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, I'm like, who is that guy? I'm like, I don't know this actor really. I'm like, what is he from? I'm like, oh, it's the prick kid from Shaun of the Dead. That ended up being a Jurassic Park villain.
Not that there's a reference, but
And he's an asshole to Sean. We find out Sean's like, what is he, like 29?
Yeah.
yeah.
A grandpa.
Yeah. And he's just like, how old are you? 20? He's like 17. Yeah, I get this.
and like the cliche with the phone call, it's just like the hand coming into frame. It's like doing the polar opposite of what he just disciplined this kid for. It's
I like the
Perfect.
thing he's trying to say is like, there's no I in team, but there's an I in meat pie. And he doesn't get it.
yeah,
He's like,
it was an anagram for
the anagram
team.
of team is meat. I don't know. But I do remember there was a dark period where I had to go back to retail in my mid-20s, and goddamn.
Retail's rough.
Yeah, and then but I was being treated because I hadn't worked in retail so long, even though I used to be an assistant manager, and like now I'm like grouped in with the high school kids, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to be here. I'm like, this is how Sean felt. I don't want to be here right now.
Yeah, but everyone looks up to you.
No one looked up to me at that. Are you kidding me? But this is also the origin of "You Got Red on You."
Yes.
This is Penn
Love it.
Yeah.
breaks.
You got red on you.
Hello, mate.
So speaking of foreshadowing, I like that he's flicking through the channels trying to sell the TV, and we start
So
seeing
good.
like the environmental stuff. It's like, okay, something's going on. We don't know what it is, but something's going on.
In the reverse shot of that, you actually get to see the cameo from Simon Pegg's mom.
Oh yes,
She's in the background of
Yeah.
that exact shot.
I heard
which is super weird.
I heard that in the commentary track. He's like, my mom's in the back,
and I'm just like,
walked around the store.
yeah.
So we get to see Bill Nye as Philip.
Legend.
Yes. What do you know Bill Nye from?
Okay. Don't judge me.
Okay.
Love Actually.
That makes sense.
Okay, that's better. I thought you were gonna say something else.
Well,
Thank
me and Tom know him from the movie I, Frankenstein.
What?
We saw that in theaters.
We did.
That was a really bad movie.
Terrible. So bad.
Yeah,
Aaron
see, I
Eckhart. I didn't think
No,
Aaron
but I'm
Eckhart.
loving it so far.
The Frankenstein monster.
I thought Aaron Eckhart couldn't do bad.
No, he can.
I know now.
Angela,
I saw
let's sum it up here.
Frankenstein.
So the Frankenstein monster. He's in a movie with gargoyles.
Played
Don't
by-
worry, the gargoyles aren't the bad guys. Him and the gargoyles have to fight the demons. Because the demons want to use Frankenstein to, I forget what it is.
I
But
don't
Bill
know.
Nye's the bad guy because it was made by the same people who did Underworld. And they're like, well, he was in Underworld. We'll put him in this. It'll be just as good.
Yeah.
There are 4 sequels to Underworld, and everyone forgot I, Frankenstein existed.
Wait, when did this movie come out?
Like around roughly the same time as
20
X-Men Origins or something.
Yeah, like
Okay.
2014 or something like that. No, the
Look,
second
no.
Wolverine movie. Second Wolverine
Yeah,
movie.
the real bad one.
No, the first one is really bad. Actually, there's a whole episode about it on the way. Never mind.
There
Forget
is.
we said anything. Yeah, so Bill Nye is in this. I know I'm saying Bill Nye.
That's
How
how
do
you.
you
That's how
say it?
it's. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not. It's not. It's Bill Nye.
not the
E.
science guy.
And then you just add a little bit of a he at the end. So it's Bill Nye. E.
So we find out that there's this dynamic where he's the stepdad, and Sean makes everyone know that. They're like, your dad's here. It's like,
Stepdad.
Stepdad.
It's not my real dad.
Real like teenager angst
Very much.
style.
Well, he
I love
did
it.
something. He left like chocolate in the seats, and he chased him around the garden with a piece of wood or something, and then it stuck with him forever.
They've had a rough relationship because I think they he became his stepdad when he was like 12 or something. So he tells him, it's like, are you coming to visit your mother? And he's like, yes. And he's like, are you going to bring flowers? Because you forgot last time.
It's very important.
And he's like, yeah, I love the whole, like, I wasn't gonna. Like, he's like, not the Daisy or whatever. He's like, I wasn't gonna do that. So yeah, Philip leaves. And as he's leaving, we see all the military trucks go
Yeah.
by.
And so the hints are starting.
They're
just
all
a
starting to
little
show
bit more. A little bit more.
This is before you could get the news on your phone and whatnot. There was just a day if you didn't watch TV or look at a newspaper, you had no idea what was going on. Those days are gone. Now you know everything that's going on. You have to purposely not look at anything to not know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, we get that great nothing to panic about when he's on the phone, right? And he hangs it up, and there's that smash cut to people panicking outside, running around as like stuff's starting to go down.
Yeah.
So there's so many good like little lines
Yeah.
in this
And
whole movie.
actually rewinding when they do like I like when Sean's getting ready for work and it's all the quick cuts and stuff.
The mundane shots. It's so good. It's
Yeah, so
classic.
Edgar Wright is like, we loved all these movies where they're like gearing up and suiting up and stuff. But like, wouldn't it be funny to do it for just getting your work outfit ready? And I'm like, that's fun.
And the mirror, which comes back again when he's like getting ready.
Oh,
and he
yeah.
closes the mirror.
And Pete's in the
in the
mirror.
mirror.
Again, it's like
There's just too much.
it's like
Everything.
poetry. It rhymes, or it's like a Rorschach painting. It's the same on both sides.
It is.
So in the store, back to the store.
Yes.
He gets a call from Liz.
Yes.
And I love that he's just like, you got to separate your personal time. Like, your girlfriend's on the phone. He's like, no, it's Liz from head office. And he's just not listening to Liz.
Nope.
Like,
not at all.
Who's like, did you book the thing? He's like, yep. Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah.
I've definitely never done that.
Yeah.
I've definitely been like, yeah, I'll do it.
For
And then they go, hey, did you do that thing? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, oh, that thing you said that I wasn't paying attention. Oh, no. Nothing this bad. Like, this is supposed to be.
That's still though, like, I don't know. I feel like I would not expect to get reservations the night of. How busy is this town?
Yeah. But even,
I mean, he should have, but like I wouldn't call up my husband and say, "Could you please make reservations for tonight at a fancy restaurant?"
Yeah.
And then be sad that he didn't do it.
it's a little bit on Liz, too. She should have been
Right?
like, in less than a day, they might not
They're
be
not
booked.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't think it. We're probably
Let
gonna
me know when
plan
they're
out a couple
available.
weeks. Yeah.
But this is a big fuck because remember, this
is a big
isn't
deal, though.
them celebrating their anniversary. This is the apology because they celebrated their anniversary at the Winchester. This is not. This is not where you want to go. Which, by the way, I used to have 2 Winchester shirts.
Oh, nice. Where are they?
Well, I couldn't fit into them now. But the one, I had a green one that was really nice. It had the Winchester logo.
That's awesome.
And then, look, I don't know what happened at the apartment at Temple. Somehow I slid down the stairs. I just said, this will be fun, and I just went right down the stairs and I shredded it all up. I don't know what was on the stairs.
You know what? I doubt alcohol was involved, so you should be
I don't
okay.
think it was involved.
No.
Who doesn't just look at a flight of stairs and go, I'm going to nosedive down there?
Smart people think that.
And then I had another one that was the Winchester Tavern Cricket League, and it was 2 cricket bats covered in blood. I'm like, that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
I keep trying to buy a cricket bat. They're actually kind of expensive.
Really?
Yeah. For something I'm going to use as a Halloween prop costume.
I was going to say, this is
They're
really
heavy,
a big
aren't they?
cricket area.
No.
I don't know. Do you play cricket?
I do not.
Does
I
it-
learned once.
Oh,
That was like a
more than me.
day in high school. My social studies teacher was like, "We're all learning cricket," and took us outside. I don't really remember anything.
What did it have to do with social stuff?
I don't know. I don't know. It was a weird teacher I had, but I do remember having to run back and forth in between the things.
Okay.
I don't
Weird
think I've
British
ever-
teachers.
I don't even know if I've ever even seen a cricket bat. No, I probably have it at a convention because this was a very
Yeah,
popular.
so you've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
this movie.
I mean, in person.
I was like, wait a minute, we got to rewind.
Yeah. I don't know what a cricket bat looks like. Let me just.
No, I guess at the time, this is my first exposure to a
That's
Yeah,
cricket
you
bat.
didn't know what it. I understand.
Yeah, but no, at conventions, the white with the red tie and then the bandana, that was like super popular for years. It should come back. They should do. They should bring it back. Bring
should.
back that cosplay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's very affordable.
Sean is buying
That's what I was
flowers.
thinking.
Oh, Sean's
Flowers.
buying flowers.
Yes.
For his mom, not his pal. His mom.
His mom.
I like that. She's like, please say for mom. He's like, yeah, the first one. He looks outside and he just sees a zombie that's eating pigeons.
Watch that. Don't use the Z word.
Oh,
all right?
sorry.
Oh,
By the way, I love the cliche of like a vehicle going by and the person's gone.
yeah.
the vehicle wipe.
Look, I get it in like some movies. I'm like, I feel like a zombie wouldn't be fast enough for that though.
Just like
When-
ran and like grabbed on.
Yeah,
and it would
jump onto the bus.
That's how I envisioned it going down.
Now I'm envisioning it. All right.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's probably the most strategic way, realistically.
I can't. There's probably been a bunch of parodies, but I feel like people have parodied it where like the vehicle moves and the person's still running awkwardly. When I was talking about zombie movies, I forgot to include 28 Days Later because that was like a big one at the time.
Huge.
That came out a few years
huge.
before. That introduced the whole running zombies. Well, I mean, other movies have done it, but that popularized it. Am I allowed to call the 28 Days Later one zombies?
If we're not, all right. Well,
Are you one of those
do you want to
people
get real
like-
title voodoo? Like, come on. Like, we don't have to get that deep into
They're
it.
all voodoo zombies.
Whatever.
you don't notice, but it's not the cat thing. There's a Haitian witch doctor off screen that's making.
Oh, look at that.
It's funny how that word is just changed. Okay. Sean bumps into his friend Yvonne,
Oh, yeah.
who is his co-star from Spaced. Mm-hmm. That's Daisy from Spaced. So I feel like they had to give her a role in this. I don't know what is their relationship. I know
They dated, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe they're like not like ex-lover. Yeah, ex-lovers. Yeah.
Oh my God! For the podcast listeners, Tom assaulted my Star Trek V standee of Leonard Nimoy. How dare you? If it was the William Shatner one, I would have let it slide, Tom. But
Thanks.
so I guess they used to date and they're like still friends
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Who hangs
Yeah.
out? Who hangs
they
out
have-
with their exes?
I don't.
Who does podcasts with them about Godzilla? Oh God, my fucking life sucks. All right. Anyway, that was a dig at Johanna. Yeah, because I didn't understand what their friendship was, like why they're being all chummy. But yeah, I guess that
They were
makes
like
sense.
awkwardly chummy though, like which I think like plays into that, right? The like the
Yeah.
Well, it's like,
classic
how have
like
you
how
been? 'Cause
they're-
surviving,
yeah,
right?
'cause
Like
they're not like friends that hang out all the time.
right. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, are you still with Liz? Or
Yeah.
like you know, kind of like
Glad somebody made it.
yeah, right. Like
But yeah, she's in the military. You can tell by like her fatigues and whatnot. So it's just like, okay, this is like the Joey Ex Machina for
yeah,
later.
right. It is. Yeah, absolutely. They're like
We're just
revving
saying-
that up, putting that
We're
in
just
there.
like, well, we're gonna leave this here. We're gonna circle back to that in a little bit.
Which like I feel like all zombie movies need, because there's just not like a moment where like click and be like, oh, aha, I figured out how to wipe out every single zombie. We're good now, right? You need something to come in and save you. I feel like that's just classic zombie movie.
Yeah, well, 28 days later, they're like, let's just wait it out. They'll all die.
Yeah, you like...
That's what happens.
Yeah, but that's like less...
I hope no one gets eaten 28 months later from now. Or weeks later. Yeah, they missed out on the months thing. Now they're doing 28 years. Because they're like, oh, fuck, we waited too long to do months. We have to do years now. So yeah, he realizes he totally forgot to book the reservations. Because she's like, are you doing anything special? He's like,
cut.
So he's calling. They're not giving him a table. He tries to smooth it over with Liz. He's like, yeah, they're booked. And he's like, I didn't book it. And then he does the worst thing he possibly could have done. Literally anything.
There's no other restaurant. Those are the only 2 restaurants in this entire town.
The place that does the fish and the Winchester, apparently, which doesn't have food.
No. Has hog lumps.
Yeah. That's like snack. It's like my freaking dive bar. They just have snacks there. But yeah, it's like, dude, you could probably just drive around and maybe find a place.
I feel even like, I'm going to come over and cook for you. I don't know. There was like, there's something. There was another step before resorting back to the Winchester.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, go to the Winchester. So she hangs up on him.
Yeah, she hangs up. That doesn't go well.
Huh?
That doesn't go well.
She hangs up on him. It doesn't go well for him. He rushes over there. And he's trying to get in, and Dave and Diane, especially Dave, is being an asshole. He's like, nah, he doesn't want to see. She doesn't want to talk to you. Which, by the way, these 2 actors have good chemistry in Run, Fat Boy, Run. You ever see that movie?
Love that movie.
Oh, that's a good one. Simon Pegg and him. That's a really fun movie.
Yeah, Dylan Moran, very good. And Black Books, he did with the TV
Black
series,
Books,
which is really good.
But TV series?
Black Books.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh, it's good.
It's
Dylan Moran.
British.
Yeah,
I'll take your word for it. Is it a British show?
it is. It's about books.
I don't watch that garbage.
Oh,
As I say it in front of my copy of Space.
okay.
British Office, better than the American one. And I will die on that hill.
Whoa, hot take.
Is that because you like Shaun of the Dead so much?
No, it's just I like the
'Cause-
Brit. You know what's good about the British Office? You can watch the entire thing in an afternoon. That's it. There's only
That is a plus.
Although as I say that, I didn't watch the the movies they made afterwards. I gotta watch that. Anyway, back to this. He goes over there. He threatens to climb the window to get in the apartment. Doesn't make it up there. I couldn't make it up there. I don't blame him. This part had me crying when I saw it the first time. when he's like, oh, we'll hang out with Dave and Diane. She's like, oh.
A failed actress and a twat.
That's harsh.
Your words.
I did not call Diane a failed actress.
Like, just not hiding his contempt for Dave at all. And he does call Dave out for simping for Liz, because Dave is, like, super into Liz, and he's not subtle about it at all. It's like this unspoken thing that everyone knows. They're like, oh, come on, man. Someone really should call him out on it at some point.
Really?
Like, hey, man, you're making this really awkward. Liz breaks up with Shaun. And I do like when she's listing all the things he did wrong. She's like, we never went away together. He's like, we went to Greece. She's like, we met in Greece. That's not good. It's like, let's go on vacation. I'll meet you there.
Right.
But yeah, she tells him that this is a very relatable scene to me now. Because at one point I was Shaun, where I needed to like mature and whatnot. And I was kind of a piece of shit. And then, like, years later, I felt like Liz, where I'm like, oh, man, you need to mature and get your shit together. I'm like, wow, I now relate to both parts of this relationship. But she basically tells him, like, if I don't do anything, I'm going to end up in the Winchester every night, being sad and miserable. I got to, like, live my life, and you're not ready to do that. So she kicks him out. And he's all sad. As you would be, I guess. Although this one feels like it's a long time coming.
Yeah.
I feel like if I was in Shaun's situation and the girl like broke up with me, I would have been like, yeah, I'm honestly surprised he didn't do it earlier.
Exactly.
And then where does he go?
The Winchester.
Throws out his mom's flowers. I do like, when he tried to pawn off his mom's flowers.
And says, to a great mom.
You know,
And he really goes with it, though.
he tried. I'll give him point. If he didn't make so many fuck ups that day, he might have gotten away with that one. It's like, nah, you can't fuck up 10 things and then try to get away with that. Ed tries to cheer him up with his Clyde impression from the Clint Eastwood movie, which every
Which Way But Loose.
Okay.
Never saw it.
I think there's 2 of them.
From what I understand, there's a monkey in Clint Eastwood.
It's an orangutan, not really a monkey. That's an ape, but whatever.
You're not okay. Yeah, no, I don't want to.
You know, mistakes like that just drive me bananas. Anyway,
don't talk about bananas.
so that didn't work. So Ed has a plan for the next day, and everything he says happens. Angela, you have it written down, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love
Most like my shorthand.
Okay.
So they're gonna keep drinking, starting with Bloody Marys.
Bloody Mary.
They're gonna have a bite at the King's Head.
Yes.
But
A couple at Little Princess.
Which is the girls. Because that's when they pick up the girls, right? The little princess.
That's what. Okay, that confused me.
Because the King's Head is the bite at the King's Head is Philip.
yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
Kill
It's
Phil.
his dad.
Then
right.
the little princess is then picking up the girls.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Well, a couple at the Little Princess. So is it like Dave and Diane is the couple,
Yeah.
and then Liz is the princess?
think that's what
is
it
that
is,
how it
yeah.
goes?
Yeah.
I was like waiting. I was like, I wanted a little girl in a tiara. To
It's
pop
not
out,
exactly
but,
a 1-to-1, but yeah.
But yes, okay. Stagger back to the Winchester.
Because they
Dagger.
pretend to be zombies, yeah.
Bang. And back to the bar for shots.
And they end up shooting a bunch of things in the wind chat. It's
Well,
pretty
the-
good.
yep.
It's pretty good.
The whole movie just like summed up in like a drunken.
I love when movies do. I've
Right.
got to find other examples of that where they kind of like tell you the whole plot without telling you the whole plot.
Yeah,
You're
they're like,
oh, that happened.
This is the movie. And you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Ed gives detailed backstories on the bar patrons. What's
yes,
your,
to try to cheer him up.
what's your favorite?
The porn star.
The coccycidal maniac.
Yes.
Like what? And that woman just not. And I think that's why it's such a good joke, honestly, because
I like the snake boots guy. Just because
Yes.
his musical sting, the which the DVD menu just plays that musical thing on a loop. I'm like, that's the one they went with,
All
the
of
and I know that because I fell asleep watching this the other day, and I didn't have the sleep timer on,
No.
and the DVD menu just kept repeating. I had some weird dreams, and I finally woke up to like literally like 10 times, and I'm like, I gotta turn the. Where's the remote? I gotta turn that off.
that's one of like the many little sound nuances in the movie. Honestly,
Yeah.
that I
There
love.
are a lot. I was a lot of rustle noises.
Yeah.
A lot of like really fun background
I
noises.
just love that he has the snake boots, so they have that. Okay, I love the Big Al says dogs can't look up. So apparently, do you know the origin of this one?
I don't.
Okay, so if I'm remembering it right, they brought the dog from space to it had something to do with the dog from space, I think.
Okay.
And someone was trying to get the dog's attention, and it wasn't paying attention to them. And apparently Nick Frost, I think, just assumed that dogs can't look up, and everyone made fun of him for that.
My God.
It was like, oh yeah, I guess dogs can't look up. It's like, no, it's just not paying attention. So they wrote that in the script.
Yeah.
Who's that actor? Vincent D'Onofrio. He tweeted like a few years ago he believed some lie that pigs can't look up at the sky.
Oh, I've heard that before. That's like not an urban legend, but like a.
It's yeah, they
Right?
could-
It's not true.
He's
It's
like-
not true.
ima-
It's just like a
It's
weird.
just not
yeah, he's like,
true.
imagine like picking up a pig and aiming it and see stars for the first time. And it's like, well, depending where you are, you can stare straight ahead and see
Still see
stars.
stars,
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
still.
It's like also they can look up. They can sit down and point their heads up. Like it's not hard. Anyway,
Some pig.
we never get to meet Big Al. There's so much.
What do you mean, Big?
Well-
Big isn't Big Al the
No,
bartender?
that's John. That's John.
Oh.
So they say that
I thought Big Al was.
no. John,
Yeah.
they say like John is loaded. He has connections, and he goes, "Big Al told me so."
Okay.
And then he goes, "Well, Big Al also says dogs can't look
Big.
up."
Okay.
Yeah, no, I used to
Okay.
like call that guy Big Al, and every time I watch, I'm like, "Oh, right, he's not Big Al. We never meet Big Al." It's like Kramer's friends in Seinfeld that we never meet. You ever watch Seinfeld? Like throughout 9 seasons, you're always hearing about Lopez and Bob Sacamano. You never meet them. No. Big Al should have been a running gag in all the other movies.
Should have.
yes.
Among the other many running gags from the trilogy. you
Yes.
know.
So this is the scene that made me fall in love with the movie.
Really? This scene?
When they walk out.
Okay.
Also,
Wow.
a few good moments. The song being on random and it was Chicago. It was supposed to be a Prince song, but they couldn't get the rights to it. So that, and then
it cost them like $20,000, I think.
Yeah.
Just for like that sentence.
Yeah. And then there was the, it's not the end of the world. But no, when he goes out and they're singing White Lines and they're just oblivious to the zombies, that's when I was like, okay, I love this movie. I love this movie. And then
It was in the trailer too, so like that everybody was definitely introduced.
I didn't see the trailer, Tom.
What? Well, because you had the
Because
movie before.
I bought the illegal
You saw the
bootleg,
movie before the trailer.
and
I
I'm
got
a
you.
criminal. So go back and arrest 14-year-old Tony.
I stole it like a year later. What are you talking about?
Also, I've noticed since I started going back to horror conventions, less bootleg DVDs these days. I think they cracked down on that stuff.
Yeah.
That was the only way you could for a while, you know.
Yeah. That's how I got my Kill Bill DVD that was in color. The black and white fight scene was in color.
Oh, that's
Apparently the Japanese cut of it was in color. So I was like the only guy who had the full color.
Oh, well, it had to be in black and white for censors, right?
Yeah. But for some reason, I don't think like any Blu-ray releases have ever released the colored version. I could be wrong. It's been a minute. But I was the cool kid. I'm like, hey, no Kill Bill? I have it in color with all the extra core.
who did you brag about this to? All right, anyway.
Well, not girls. Again, they weren't talking to me in high school. Probably my friend Anthony, honestly.
Okay, all right, because you're building this little character up in your head, like, oh, I was so cool. All those people were like hanging on my every
Everyone
word.
clapped. What does that mean? Everyone clapped and they put me on their shoulders. They're like, Tony, let's go watch your super compressed DVD that's gonna die in 3 years because it's printed like shit. Anyway. I love the girl cuts her boyfriend's head off in the background.
Yeah, just like a
Yeah.
mannequin. Just was making out.
And then they're
It's a good-
singing with the zombie, which is great.
Yes.
Then they go back and they're playing some electro. Deleted thing from the script. Shaun is a former DJ.
Yes.
That was like,
I mean, he had the stuff.
he had the
He's
stuff.
he's like,
There is not the flyer that looks like it says Simon Pegg. That apparently was like a real DJ.
Some like
But
Peg or something.
Apparently there is somewhere in that room, I think there is a flyer with like Shaun's DJ name.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like part of like the backstory they made for all the characters, and like for whatever reason it didn't really get worked into the script. There were like a few.
That's the only time you find out what his real full name is. What's in that
Really?
poster?
Right, because they never tell you the full name.
Trivia round. Who knows?
I don't know.
His full no.
No.
His last name is Sean Riley. His DJ name is DJ Smiley Riley. DJ Smiley Riley. Yep, that's how you find out
And I actually,
his last name.
if you think about it, that could also be a reason why he's like so miserable, because he wanted to do something else and it didn't take off. Like when I was working in TV and I'm like, this will be the best thing ever. And then I ended up at Office Max briefly and I went, oh no, I've become Sean.
The regular Sean Riley over here.
But yeah, Pete comes in and me and my friend Anthony from Mummy Cop, we used to quote the scene constantly. It's 4 in the fucking morning.
There's a take in the extras. It's called the funking theater
Yeah.
take, and it's just in the funking morning, all funking night. It's just like
I
this is a
forget-
beautiful
I
little
think
thing to
that
put in
was-
the bonus.
I don't know if they did that just as a joke or if that was just for the airplane version.
It has
I
to be
think.
for the TV version. Like
Yeah.
it has to be.
Like, we'll just add an N. It'll be a whole new
right.
word. But yeah, he's angry at them. He's like, guys, I gotta be up tomorrow. Like, what the fuck?
He's got a splitting headache.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So they're screaming at each other, yelling, and they notice he's bit. And I like, he's like, some crackheads bit me.
like they
It's like
do.
for what? Why? I don't know. I didn't stop to ask them. It's perfect.
And then he tells Ed, he's like, why don't you go live in the shed, you thick fuck?
Yeah.
No foreshadowing there.
And look, I know like they try to treat Pete like the bad guy, but he's really not.
He's the most reasonable character in like a lot of the
really
scenes.
not. Like
Right? And even like
he pays for the place. He has a job. Like it's appropriate that he would want them to not blast music.
And Sean's like, I just broke up, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, man. Could you just like try to keep it down?
Yeah,
then?
he
like,
Yeah.
he really changed.
Yeah,
he's
he
like,
really,
I get it.
He tries
understood.
to be like, okay, we'll compromise. And then Ed fucks it all up. And then Sean's
Classic
always siding with Ed more. And Pete calls him out. He's like, why are you defending him? There's no reason to defend this person.
And as he's walking away, the door's open again.
Sean wakes up the next day. He leaves a little note for himself. What was it? Go to mom's, get back Liz, sort life out.
Sort life out, yep.
Yeah.
I write that every day for myself. Sort your life out. And then I'm like, I didn't get to it today. I'll put it tomorrow.
Damn it.
to
You
tomorrow.
gotta like put a
To do.
date on it to like hold yourself accountable. Like by the end of the week, I gotta do this.
But he asks Ed what he wants from the store, and he says Cornetto.
Cornetto.
And this becomes the Cornetto Trilogy.
Because
Because they do Cornetto in each movie.
in each movie they're either eating or you visually see a Cornetto ice cream cone.
What a weird thing to name your trilogy
Yeah,
after.
it is.
but
I don't
okay.
know.
It was like,
What was that their choice? Or did somebody
I think
just
maybe it was just became like a fan thing
after
that
the
people-
first two, they were just like, yeah, screw it. I guess I'll put it in the third one.
I think people maybe like were just calling it that. Maybe it like stuck. I'm not sure.
Maybe. But it is really odd because we don't have that ice cream in the United States.
No.
And yet I know the Cornetto trilogy. Like I reference it often for no idea.
So they he goes to the store and it's the same like one shot again, but now we see like he's just oblivious to all the carnage.
And
Right.
everything is just a little bit different. Just enough. Like because it's the entire mirror.
Yeah.
Not to go with that, but the entire mirror image.
Oh my God! Tom has assaulted Leonard Nimoy again. Why does Tom hate Leonard
I'm
Nimoy
gonna scoot
so
away
much?
from Leonard Nimoy.
The late
Come
Leonard
here.
Nimoy.
I'm getting excited. I'm sorry.
Anyway, I do like how they like make it in a way where like his head movements constantly are in a position
Or
where he
the-
wouldn't see it. Yeah,
yeah.
like when he goes, like he's looking down, and then I think he turns when he opens up the door that has all the
Yeah,
blood on
he,
it.
like,
Yeah, and the guy, but the groom's in the background there, and the
And they're all
shopkeeper.
Yeah, the shopkeepers. They're all trying to like make their way toward him. He goes past the homeless guy who now doesn't have a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I don't have any change. I left some at the shop.
Yeah, and he gives it the change and he drops it. Like, it doesn't even.
I love that he grabs the Coke and then like thinks about her telling him to go to the gym and puts it back and gets a Diet Coke.
I didn't realize that's
instead.
why he did that.
That's what I assumed, but he does that little switch of like
Oh,
after
right.
she just tells him like you could go to the gym like as part of the
Yeah,
breakup.
and then earlier he's like, I can give up smoking whenever I want.
Yeah.
There's a bloody hand on the door as he opens
Yeah.
it. He doesn't realize it. Like, all
I
these.
think he slips on some blood.
Oh yeah, he does. He
Yeah,
does like a
he
little.
does. He slips on a blood puddle, and apparently the radio that's playing,
Yeah.
they're actually in like Hindu or Indian or whatever.
Yeah.
They're saying zombies, like beware, like
But
you're
he
gonna
has no
die.
idea.
But he has
Which
no
is
idea.
a lot like The Thing, the John Carpenter
Yes.
thing. 'Cause the
Yes.
Norwegians tell you everything that's going on.
First
They're like,
10 minutes of that movie.
what are
Right?
these people saying? Why are they so mad at this dog?
But that's
so yeah.
that's one of my favorite shots in the whole movie.
What,
Like,
this
just
one-
the
yeah, it's good. It's good.
It's so good. It's well choreographed, and then it's like that almost like a moment of like as he's like a zombie, right?
Yeah.
Because he's going through and he's like
su-
in that.
and he's also super hungover.
Oh yeah, he's hungover, he's depressed, he's exhausted, so he's got like he is a zombie with them in
Yeah.
this moment of this walkthrough.
yeah, he's not gonna notice any of this stuff around
No,
him.
I feel like we've all been there. It's alright.
Yeah. I've definitely been hungover and out in public in the morning walking like a
you're just
zombie.
like-
That's definitely happened.
I can't say I slipped on blood and didn't notice. That's just
I mean, there was.
of all the other things, they're half believable.
That's the
I don't know why that's the one for me. That just
You might have seen me at Temple University early some mornings walking around completely hungover.
we had that talk once that like I think like we've been drunk never together but like in
Oh
passing.
yeah, we were always drunk in passing.
Yeah.
But we never got drunk together.
Yeah, it was. Temple work.
Yeah, there was famously one night where I was taking some medication and I guess I missed the thing. You're not allowed to drink with it.
Oh no.
Those poor ladies. I woke up the next day in their apartment just throwing up. Apparently I did it before I like was conscious and it was a problem. And then I stumbled through Temple University.
you woke up in your bed though, right?
No, I woke up at some person's apartment.
Oh god, because I've had that happen. You go
Oh,
to
you
a
know who
party
it
and
was?
like someone was just like it's like this person didn't come to this party. We don't know anybody that's related to this person, and that's my bed, and I need to go to bed.
Oh no.
They won't get up or leave.
No, it was actually it was someone from Mummy Cop.
Oh no.
I don't think she watches this.
It was
but
Star.
not her place. Somehow I ended up in the apartment below. I don't know how I got there. But I woke up to like just several women very, very disappointed with me because I'm puking all over their bathroom.
We're not mad, Tony. We're just disappointed.
No, they were mad. They didn't know who I was to even. They're like, someone brought me in there, and I ended up there the whole night, and then I woke up throwing up, and then I wandered like this. So if there was a zombie apocalypse,
Yeah, you know what? You can
If
relate
you-
very much to
Yeah.
this
Angela,
character.
if you were on Bury Beach, just having your remember that's what they called them?
Oh, yeah,
having
yeah.
your intestines ripped out, I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have
You
known.
wouldn't have come saved me.
And if I did know, I wouldn't be saving it. I'd be running away. God.
Rude.
No, I am not. I do kind of want to do my own zombie movie. I did technically do a zombie
Yeah.
movie.
I did a couple
I edit-
zombie shorts.
Well, I edited it myself into Night of the Living Dead, and I think I made the movie better.
Oh, nice.
Hack the Living Dead. It's on this channel for free.
I just watched Night of the Living Dead for the first time, like a couple months ago.
Oh, the one by
Nice.
George. Well, when I film nice scenes, they
Yeah.
really, like a
See, that-
Rorschach painting, they really compliment George Romero's scene.
See, I wanted to start with the original before I moved on to the masterpiece.
Yes,
so
yes.
yours
You know,
will be next.
me and George did good work on Hack the Living Dead.
I know you guys worked really close together, so
Well, I mean, he shot his stuff in the 60s. I shot my stuff a
Yeah,
few
but, like,
years ago.
like spiritually close.
Yes. I was at a convention and I saw him across the room one time, and I feel like that was like him giving me his blessing. to
Real
do that.
recognize real, honestly. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just-
And it's not because that movie's public domain. You can do whatever you want with it. That's
Yeah,
not
no.
why I did that. I genuinely thought I could fix the movie. Because when I watched Night of the Living Dead, I'm like, it's good, but where am I? I don't understand. Anyway, if you never
match.
seen that, you should watch it. It's fun.
Not yours, no.
Yeah,
Okay, I need to look.
I got rid of all the news sequence, and my friend played like an Alex Jones type. So it goes from like
Oh,
conspiracy to him denying it's happening, and like throughout the news segments, his hair is getting even messier.
oh my God.
Is this on your channel, the one
Yeah.
we're on right now?
Yes.
So like anyone could watch it.
Anyone can watch it right now.
I'm gonna go watch it as soon as we're done.
Let's watch it right now. Let's get back to this. So he goes home. I love the switching the TV and making
Yeah.
the sentence.
Uh-huh.
The
That's so
serious,
good.
Yeah.
You know, who said serious attacks during the nature documentary? That's Nick Frost.
Number of reports of
Serious attacks on
People who are literally being
eaten alive.
No,
When they're
that's
going
awesome.
through like reports of serious attacks. And then Nick Frost, Ed is like, there's a girl in the garden. In the garden, there's a girl, which apparently is a song lyric. I don't know
Yeah,
the song though.
something.
I just like that he's like behind, like you don't even know he's
The
there, and then all of
reveal.
a sudden you're
The reveal of it is
Okay, I'm
perfect.
just-
Yeah, because
behind
Sean
these sheer
looks around
curtains.
at first.
like, who said that?
It's like it's hard to miss Nick Frost, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's like, there's a girl in the garden. Turns out it's Mary,
Bloody Mary, as
Blood-
she's nicknamed later.
Bloody Mary. They go up to her. They're like, hey, lady, what are you doing? They see her face and they come to the conclusion that she's a drunk.
She's
Yeah.
pissed.
Yes, which I didn't realize that meant drunk over there.
Uh-huh. They had to change that line just
Yeah,
for
they
the
changed
release
it to-
here
Oh,
because
really?
no one here would
Drunk.
understand. It's like, oh, she's pissed. It's like, what? She peed her pants? I don't understand.
mad.
What do you mean she peed? What? So they had to change so drunk. That's why he says it like a little bit off because like even he's just like, this isn't what we say.
This isn't
This isn't
words.
normal. What is you
Yeah.
say pissed?
So yeah, she like tries to attack Sean. They think she's just being flirty, I guess. But then they look at her eyes and they eventually throw her and she gets impaled.
Yeah, such a good scene.
Yeah, and then she gets up and then this is you were talking
moment.
about it before, the effects.
Yes, the special effects team.
With the
Yes, the effects team was great, but apparently they were inspired by a lot of the stuff that happened in like Battle Royale when it came to like
Yeah.
compositing blood and gore. Not like digital blood, but like
Yeah.
composite, so like shooting like on top of her like chest, so they
Yeah.
shot like a piece of meat on a green screen, then put it in there.
I think it's hot dogs or something. They
Yeah,
said.
something
that's
like
cool.
that.
Hot
And then they
dog.
had like the green on her that they chroma keyed out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
with that like perfect, just like
Yeah.
them in the
And
background.
that
Like,
with their faces. it's
yeah.
just- love it.
So that had to be a bit. You got to match the movement. I know, like you can. There are some camera rigs that you do with like a computer to do the exact same.
yeah,
Yeah.
like the movie and
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Still,
such
but that was
other
this is
people that do
before
like
that.
there's other people that do like videos on like the breakdown of the special effects
Yeah.
on like some of that stuff is actually like really cool how they did it.
Yeah.
The Double Negative is the
Right.
special effects studio, which ended up doing like a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Like they've actually done like the Ant-Man movies.
Okay.
Like they did Harry Potter movies. They did the Justice League.
Which one?
They've done.
Because there's 2 versions.
Yes,
of them.
you're right. They've done Mission Impossible movies. They didn't do all of them, but like,
Yeah.
they started with like Shaun of the Dead, and now they're like AAA, top tier,
Remind
like
me to mention a funny
special
Mission
effects
Impossible
studio.
thing at the end of this.
Okay.
Remind me. 'Cause there's
Okay.
a funny story related to this Mission Impossible.
All right.
So they like are freaked out by it because she's a zombie.
Yeah.
And they bump into like the fat zombie whose like face is all bit
Well,
up.
hold on. You don't forget like one of the best parts of the movie. Right, so Sean's fighting with Bloody Mary. They're on the ground, and Ed comes back with a camera. Hold on 2 seconds, and takes a picture with a disposable camera. It's just like real quick, just like oh god, and suddenly they're starting to realize, wait, something's a little off. Sean's character
then-
pushes her. All that happens. She gets up, and like to me, like the funniest moment in the entire movie. He's just sitting there, and you just hear. Creak, winding up the
Roll it.
disposable camera to take a photo. He just slaps it out of his hand. That is to me, I'm like, this is gonna be an amazing ride, and I can't wait for the rest of this movie.
There's like some really good like moments. I mean, that's a beautiful moment, but
Yeah.
there's moments of like that date it, you know, in like
Oh,
a
yeah.
disposable camera, right? Like they have
Yeah.
like they've got the landline, they've
Yeah.
got the jukebox, which I know like is like it's just like now they're all digital
Yeah,
when you go to
you
a
get an
bar.
app.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it was
If
so
I
much
wanted
fun.
to, I could like
tunes.
sync
Yeah.
up to the one that's like down the street and I could just play like Hoobastank all night long.
Of course.
That's
I was,
that's
like,
my
keeping-
go-to.
I should do that one day, just play like a bunch of shitty songs.
It's my go-to. Just some Creed. Just like watch everything
Dude, with Arms
burn.
Wide Open, just play 17 times in a row. No, I kind of like how it's a little dated.
There's
It's
like
fun.
but like yeah, in such a very specific moment in time, again with like the disposable camera,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like a right before cell phones were really
Yeah.
like, the thing to
Like there were digital cameras were on their way and cell
Yeah.
phone cameras. I mean, they existed, they sucked, but like they were about to like just phase that all out.
yeah.
So they're learning about the zombie stuff on the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy is just like telling them what to do, like don't do this, and then he's like, make sure your doors are closed, and they're like, oh fuck, and that's when the armless guy, who was a real life amputee, there were a couple
Really?
amputees
Yeah.
in this,
I
but
didn't
yeah,
know that.
that's got to be like real messed up because like I don't think he was born. No, he was an amputee.
It was.
Well,
it was
that's not, yeah.
He was in a motorcycle accident.
Oh,
actually.
okay.
Yeah.
That's got to be weird. Where it's like, hey, be in our movie. We're gonna like make you relive this horrifying experience.
I
You
mean,
had.
he's clearly like that's probably what the ad was. We need someone who is missing an arm for the zombie
He's
movie, and
he's
he's
gotta
like,
be
"That is
confident.
me."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's like, "Guys, it's perfect."
Sean's reaction though, where he goes, ah! And he's like, he's got an arm off.
He's got an arm off.
They hit him with like an ashtray in his head.
That's what gets him. I never really understood that, but it's a movie. I'll play along.
Yeah.
They're a little soft, the zombies. Like I don't know. Can you really? You know what I mean? Like some of the things that get impaled on them, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's part of being a zombie, though, right? You're
Yeah.
just a little more squishy.
maybe it's like kind of like the vampires and From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
Where they're like, wow, they're strong, but their bodies are really soft.
but they're really
Yeah.
soft and like burst into flame really easily.
So yeah, they start throwing everything at the zombies because they learned you got to removing the head
Or destroy the brain.
So they throw everything, and then the album that Pete threw, the second album he ever bought,
Second apple.
they throw it and it sticks in the zombie's face. And
limited
then they
pressing.
decide to throw vinyls at their head to kill them. Like that's not gonna work.
I mean,
No,
it
but
works
it's
hilariously.
Good. It's a good.
It's a great scene. It's a great scene.
Like these people, you really expect them to like think of something useful?
Yeah.
Come on. Like the shed's locked. They're not willing to go in.
Yeah, they're like it's locked.
Until
Right?
they need to.
But yeah, so they're going through their record collection to see what ones they want to part with.
And they're just part.
And I love they go through like the 3 Prince albums and they get to the Batman soundtrack, which
Throw
is
it.
like, look, I like the songs in Batman '89, but as a Prince fan, I'm never like, let me go listen to Party Man. Like, no, I like the song when I'm watching the movie. I never listen to the song outside of that movie. So like Batman soundtrack, throw it.
Yeah, throw it.
They even throw Liz's album.
Oh yeah. Well, Ed throws
It's a limited.
Sean's still
pressing.
like, wait.
That's Liz's. She didn't dump you.
But you do love when they do like, oh, how like the idea of like, oh, we can't get in the shed because it's locked, and then he's like, we'll just destroy the shed. It's
Yeah,
fine.
like who cares?
Oh, that is like one of
Through it.
it's funny, but at the same time so practical. Like, why don't they do that more in movies? Of like, no, we don't have to worry about like, oh, it's a locked door. Like, just bust it down.
I mean, it depends. That was an old shitty shed.
That's true.
I mean, the shed I have there, if I tried that, I'm breaking my shoulder.
You gotta like. Ugh.
No, that one's reinforced. This was a piece of shit
Why
from
is
like.
your shed reinforced?
Well, it's not a movie.
Well, it's like a
shed.
modern shed.
I think
But this is like an old like wooden one that's like
Yeah.
dry rotted. You can break into
Yeah, I
this
think
one.
it's like always been locked or something. Like
Yeah.
they've lived on the property, but the shed's always been locked. They have no idea what's in there. It's just they're too lazy to open it up.
So yeah, they get a cricket bat and a shovel, and they go to fucking they go to
there.
fucking town on these things. And I love the shot of just them. It goes on too long, which makes
Well,
it funny.
and then it starts to sync up because it's going so
Yeah.
long.
they're singing,
I love that.
And then it cuts to them on the couch. Like, you got red on you.
Yes. I didn't.
We're
Yeah.
just watching TV.
They find out that the zombies can be transferred through biting, and they remember Pete.
Yeah.
They realize they think Pete's not home because he's not answering. And then Sean's mom calls. And she's like, hey, I'm fine, but Philip was bitten. They're
And
not.
it's like, oh, thank God.
It's like, we might have to
And
kill
he's
my
like,
stepdad.
What is it? Is it your mom? Oh no, it's just Phil. Oh, okay, thank you. Like they do like the bit back and forth through the
Yeah.
phone, which is just a fun bit.
And then Ed says, we're coming to get you, Barbara.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is from Hack the Living Dead. Oh, yeah, and Night of
Yes.
the Living Dead. But mostly.
Yeah, he didn't know that reference, like when he saw the movie,
Yeah.
he didn't know that, like it went right over his head. He didn't notice
Okay.
we're coming to get you, Barbara. He
Yeah.
just,
Because I want to give him some credit though. Like how long ago was that since he wrote and made that movie though?
it's
I
so
feel like you got-
legendary of an opening. Like,
No, but I think we all watch
And it's his
movies more
own-
than like the person who made that specific
That's
movie.
true. I'm
I
pretty
don't.
sure
I think once you're
Scorsese
done
doesn't-
making that movie,
Well, Edgar
you're
Wright,
done.
Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg probably watch more movies than us, but Nick Frost probably not.
Yeah.
Well, like of their own movies, I mean. Like you're not like I think
Oh,
once
yeah.
you're done that movie, you're like I don't want to watch. Like after that premiere, you're like
Apparently,
don't
Martin Scorsese watches. His daughter
could see it,
called him
yeah.
out. She's like, "Yeah, he turns on Goodfellas," and he acts
course
like
he
acts like
does.
he's watching it for the first time. He's like, "Oh, that was really great."
yeah, okay, that does.
No,
not
I'm glad. I
surprise me,
respect
but-
that. I don't like the people who are like, "Oh, I can't watch it again." It's just I'm like, "Ah, fuck you. Be
feel
proud." I've watched Hack the Living Dead 15 times. Every single time, I'm like, that Tony guy, he's got something. Then they come up with the 3 plans.
Yes, this is another of like the Edgar Wright staples that you can just see like in his career,
Yeah.
honestly, moving forward. Because this is an Ant-Man. Like,
Yeah, which he ended up not
Yeah.
directing, but he worked on it.
you
so
can
long.
tell his hands were in there.
Yeah, well, like this
some of the
scene-
jokes in Ant-Man.
Because like this, there's a scene just like this in Ant-Man
It's
1.
it's like verbatim.
Yeah,
Like,
where they're
it's
like
not
going
even-
through like the whole story.
They're not
and stuff.
even trying to hide it.
Yeah, so they the first plan is we're gonna kill my stepdad. Oh, we're gonna kill my stepdad. We're gonna get Liz, and we're gonna go to Liz's and hang out there. Ed doesn't like that. He's like, I want to be able to smoke. It's like,
Yeah, I
okay.
want to be able to drink.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we're gonna kill my step. And I like that it gets faster each time.
Yes.
Like the first time, it's like, sorry, Philip, and then it's like, sorry.
Yep. Kill Phil.
We're gonna get the girls, and then we're gonna come back here and wait for it
This
all to blow.
His like the cool mug. It's just-
Yeah. The first one is like, I'm a genius, and the other one
Yeah.
says, cool.
Yeah, it's just like he's always yeah.
And then they realize, like, oh, wait a minute, this place sucks. Like, because the zombies were breaking in. They're like, we can't be here. And then they decide, oh, we'll go to the Winchester.
Nice cold pint and wait for all this to blow over.
Sean gets ready to leave, and then the mirror.
The mirror again, yeah. Because we do the quick cut, getting ready. He looks, and then he does the mirror, and this time
Pete's there.
Pete's there again. But
I like the idea that Pete died in the shower.
shower.
He just stayed
He
in the
became a
shower.
zombie in the shower and just didn't know what to do. Like,
Well,
where am I?
was like-
all the other zombies were based off like movement of some
Yeah.
sort, so he's got nothing to work with.
Yeah. And I'm guessing maybe there's some intelligence because he says, we're going to go to the Winchester if you want to join us. And he does end up at the Winchester.
He ends up at the
does.
Winchester later.
I do
Well,
want to
they
know what,
do
like,
retain a little.
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
because of
the ending.
Yeah,
when they
yeah,
have
yeah.
the
But he's a full-on zombie now.
Yep.
They get out of there. Like they like push the soccer kid.
Push him out of the way.
And on their way, they're like blasting music. They're speeding with Pete's car, and they run over a dude.
And this is so genuine.
And again, if this
beautiful.
was Tony, I'd be like, oh man, that was a zombie. I just keep on going. But they have a conscience. They're like, no, we have to check. We
You
have
gotta
to
make
check.
sure. And then it has like a laying there. The leg is clearly broken. It's
I love it.
just
Like, are you
bone.
okay? It's like even if he was a normal
Like-
person, he's not okay.
He's not. And he just slowly creaks and crunches. And they see his dead eyes and they're like, oh, thank God. And then they drive off. I'm like, that is perfect. Because he couldn't live with himself
Yeah.
if it was like a normal person in these circumstances. Like,
I could. Could you? I could. Sorry, zombie apocalypse. I'm not
Wow,
looking out for others. I
brash.
need to survive.
I just figured everyone
don't understand,
would
like-
utilize me in the zombie apocalypse until like my needs aren't needed. And like, I become a threat more than helpful.
Oh, I'm the guy who's like making sure zombies eat people so they stay away from me.
You would like push your friend over.
Oh, 100%. I wouldn't even think about it.
God. Damn.
You know,
You know what you want. I mean, I can't blame you.
You know in
but-
Reservoir Dogs when Mr. Pink hides under the stairs and waits for everyone to kill each other? I really related to that
That-
character, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta go in with that, man. He lives, all right? You can shit on him all you want. He lives, and that's me. I'm surviving the zombie apocalypse.
I like though that this is the mature Tony. Unlike this is the Tony who relates to like Liz and the maturity people in this movie, not the old Tony who was immature.
Well, mature Tony cannot waste time helping others. Okay, we've been down that road. Anyway, I'm a good person. Please subscribe and share and sign up for the Patreon. So yeah, they get to the house.
Yes.
Ed has eyes on the Jag.
Yes.
Oh,
Really
yeah.
wants to drive the Jag.
It's a British thing. It's got to be.
Yeah. They go inside, or Shaun goes inside because Ed's got a secret plan. Shaun goes inside and he just can't bring himself to kill Philip because Philip's still alive.
He's about to. He does like that reveal. He's about to lift it up.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm sorry. For what? What have you done?
He's like,
oh, nothing.
but yeah, I love that he's like trying to like. By the way, he should be over it at this point because they've been married for 17 years. It's like, all right, get over it, dude. It's a little too long to hold this grudge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everything about the beginning of the movie, Shaun, is very teenager
Yeah.
angsty, right? Like the way he deals with the relationship, his mom, with working at like with
Yeah.
a bunch of teenagers. So
Yeah.
like I guess that's his little arc is him finally like becoming an adult, right?
Yeah,
So this is like a very teenager. You're not my dad.
yeah.
Like, dude, get over it.
So yeah, he's trying to get the mom to not like Philip, and then he's just like, "Did you know he touched me?" And I love when
And-
she turns around, he immediately drops. He's like,
Just like,
"Wasn't
I
true.
can't-
Made it up."
Nope.
There are two instances in this movie that I feel like maybe did not age super well, and that was one of them. Where I just feel like that's like not a joke we make anymore in movies.
There's a few things.
There's a couple that one stuck out to me, and then a thing later.
Well, there's
that-
a thing in the beginning too.
Oh, did I miss it?
On the coffee table, there's a very,
Oh yeah, they
there's a
mentioned the
very inappropriate item
some
on
set
the coffee
designer put
table.
it's a black baby with a sombrero on it. And I don't know how, it's just weird. It didn't look racist to me, it just seemed weird, but they
I never
like,
noticed
removed
it.
it.
Yeah, they removed it
did
later
they?
because they were just like,
They're like,
But there
"Maybe
are
a little
some,
bit too
speaking
much."
of dated stuff, there are some moments where like he's just like, I love her, and he's just like, gay.
Right, yeah, like
Yeah.
there's like that moment, right? You're
when he shows up to pick him up from the apartment, he
That's it.
says questionable things.
Yeah, I was like, that was
We
like
don't know if he got a pass.
The subtitles had it with a Z.
Oh, okay.
Just so I really don't know. I don't think that's better.
was
Honestly.
that in the subplot where he got an N-word pass for that scene?
I guess like,
Maybe.
but because it was with a Z.
They go to leave. He's like, look, we got to get you out of here. The car is totaled.
I love the reveal for that too. Like
Yeah.
the
It's like, but we were parked. He's like, yeah, I guess we'll have to take the Jag.
reveal just behind, like perfectly framed behind him, so you couldn't see the totaled vehicle. That for no reason why it would be total. Like how it's completely totaled. Like it's wrapped around the pole. It's not even a little.
And no
bit
one
damaged.
heard it.
Yeah.
No one heard it
No
in
one-
the house.
Hey, the movie does, I mean, it does a really good job, so I totally
Yeah.
take it, but it does one of those things where, like, the camera we just assume like the people only see with the camera. So the camera does these like great reveals like that where like, okay, as he walked out of the house, he would have seen the turtle. He would have heard it. He would have seen it. But like there's so many of these little moments of like, again, with like the reveal of someone behind, the camera switches over and now everyone in the scene sees
there was another movie we talked about that recently where like it doesn't make sense in the context of the real world. It's like, wait, what? That wouldn't make sense. So yeah, they get attacked. Yeah. And then the bite at the king's head, fucking Philip gets big on the head.
By the clubbers.
Yes. Which is sad for Barb, I guess. But yeah, so they get in the Jag and they get the fuck out of there.
Jam into the car.
Yeah, they all
with the baby
jam in.
locks. The child lock.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Important
So
note.
you pull up to Liz and he's like, you still have the child lock?
For safety.
He goes to Liz's, kind of kicks ass on the way there.
He does.
Yeah.
And then he's able to climb up the window and get to her.
Well, this is the new Shaun.
Right. This is where we're getting into
new
the
Shaun.
new Shaun.
But yeah, he gets in there. He tells them that he has a great plan. They're gonna go to the Winchester,
and that just goes great. They all agree. And
yeah, and it's so funny that they agree and go along with it. I'd be like, no, we're on the second floor.
I was gonna say, I feel like taller is better in a zombie apocalypse.
Good job, Tom. You're good. Oh, you meant like the house? Okay, yeah, no, that makes
both.
sense. The zombies can't reach you.
You can't, yeah. Much harder to do that like head bite.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because you don't know how bad it's gonna get. Like the apartment, you're on the second floor, you can lock it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not like
The helicopter can get you maybe if you have access to the roof. Yeah, I wouldn't have left the apartment.
No.
And knowing how things play out, probably would have been safer to stay in the apartment.
Yeah.
Well, the excuse they use is basically, before you got here, there wasn't that many. How many are there out there?
Oh yeah,
lots.
he like drew them there, and he's like, "Trust me, if one of them knows you're here," I'm like, "That's not true."
That is my question. Is like, what is the? How do the zombies know? Because of they do the moaning thing later, and like, what is?
I think they just see a person and they
to
follow it. Or it's like Dawn of the Dead where they all go to the mall because they remember it because it's like an important place. So they see a building. There's probably someone in there.
That game. Mall of America game. That was the another one. Zombie.
Mall of America game.
Dead Rising.
Dead Rising. Yes.
Yeah, that was another one.
They made movies based off those, like direct-to-video movies.
I don't want to watch. I want to play it. I want to like pick up a mannequin and smash a zombie with it.
That was a fun game.
It was great.
Very difficult to beat.
I heard the sequel sucked, or at least like the newest one did.
The 4 of them were okay.
Oh.
I just played all of them. That's all.
I love it.
They all cram in the Jag after he has his ass kicking. Like that's another like awesome scene where he's just taking them all out.
Yeah.
When did he get strong? That was the weird part. I'm like, okay,
When
I
you get
guess
so nimble.
They're smooshy, right? Isn't that what we? That you like deteriorate, and it's easier for people to kill you.
Liz finally gets to meet Barbara under the worst circumstances.
She's on her lap, right?
Yeah, yeah. They're all
Basically.
because he didn't expect to bring Dave and Diane, so they're all just shoved in there. Okay, this scene is really sad. They're driving and they're like arguing and whatnot, and then Philip is like, he knows he's about to die, so he like tells Shaun, he's like, "Hey, I'm really sorry I was rough on you. I just wanted to be a good dad." And like Shaun, because he's maturing, he's like, "Oh man, I really have been bad to this guy, and I'm realizing it now in his last moments, and I feel really bad about it." And it's a really heartwarming scene.
It is.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ed's running over zombies for fun.
And the music is blaring. And
Yes.
And so they stop. This scene where Shaun hits him, he's like, "Stop telling me to chill out." He actually injured Nick Frost.
Really?
It's in the behind the scenes. There's like a video diary thing. So he like hit him really hard in the shoulder and injured his shoulder. So like for like a week afterwards, like Nick Frost had to get painkillers, and they keep showing the clip in the behind the scenes of the needle going into his ass because they like pumped him full of painkillers.
Okay, now we need to circle back. Yes, Shaun is clearly strong enough to fight all those zombies if he accidentally
Simon Pegg is strong enough.
Yeah, if he like knocked out his shoulder so bad.
It's just so funny. There's like this moment in the behind the scenes where they just keep cutting to Nick Frost getting the needle in his ass. Because he's hitting the seat, but I guess he missed and hit him in the shoulder.
yeah.
Like, it's funny to think that Nick Frost is like drugged up in a couple of these on painkillers.
That's not like that surprising though.
Yeah.
After like knowing that and like thinking about watching, you're like, oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, there are some scenes
There's
where he's a little bit more zoned out than
Yeah.
others. So then Philip becomes a zombie.
Yes.
And they get out of the Jag.
Where's he gone?
Where's he gone? He's already here.
He's right here. Mm-hmm.
Originally, the Jag was going to explode.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was going to explode and Philip was going to die in the Jag. And when Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg are talking about this and behind the scenes, they were like, when we started budgeting it, this was the first thing we cut. They're like, we're not blowing up a Jaguar. We're not. We're just cutting the scene out. He's stuck in the car. We'll leave him there.
Yeah.
What is the budget?
There's no trace.
I forgot
of your. There's no trace of your husband in there.
Yeah.
Oh, a third. Leave him. Leave him. You're just going to assault
That's it.
Leonard Nimoy again.
It's great because it's rule of threes.
It's the rule of three. If you do it a fourth time, yeah,
And it's ruined.
Meanwhile, I did the Rorschach joke like 15 times. Sorry about that. That's 3 5s, so.
So it's okay. It counts. Yeah, I want to know the budget. I meant to because it
Oh.
feels
I don't know.
lower.
It's
not
definitely
like,
lower.
It's a working title picture, so it's definitely like it's
Yeah.
like the A24 kind
Yeah.
of realm
Yes,
of
yeah.
independent
Yeah.
films when it came out.
Like it feels like that sweet spot of I really love movies that are lower budget, like not so low that it's like painful to watch.
Yeah.
But
It's
not
not an
like
asylum film.
not
Nice
like we're
middle
just throwing out money and doing like stupid. I can say shit, right?
Yes.
Stupid shit because they've got the cash for it. So it's like they everything has to be intentional because they have money, but like not
That's
enough.
why I like A24
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like even like Lisa Frankenstein, which I think was Focus Features or something.
Oh, yeah,
We
Focus.
kind of were losing that for a bit in the big theater chain because it was
Mm-hmm.
just like either it's super low budget paranormal activity
Yeah.
shot on Studio, or it's like a a bajillion dollar Marvel intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
And now because so many people aren't going to the theater, so like just put whatever out. It'll stream 2 weeks from now, but maybe people will go to see the theater. So maybe we are having a return to middle budget films.
I would like that.
I wouldn't mind.
It was
It
nice.
means you have to
Double-
try.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to see people trying again.
and keep it tight. I'm tired of the 3.5 hour movies.
Although you do need to watch Beau Was Afraid. I keep telling you, that's the one you should make
I
the
do.
exception for. That one is so good.
What?
With Joaquin Phoenix, Beau Was Afraid was my favorite movie last year. But anyway, back to this. They're talking about their relationship. I like Sean's like trying to patch things up. She's like, now's not the time. This is a great reveal where they're like, are we close to the Winchester? And then the snake boots is getting eaten. They play his theme music.
Yep. And there's like 3 women because earlier they're like always surrounded by women.
Yeah.
And now all the women are having a little buffet on him.
And then they bump into Yvonne.
Yes.
And this is like the Bizarro episode of Seinfeld where
Yes.
Elaine has all the Bizarro versions of the friends.
And it's so good because they're all like now
Yeah.
like A-list people.
Well,
half
one of them
them
is Martin Freeman,
Yeah, Martin Freeman is the doppelganger for Simon Pegg.
who was already
essentially.
he was pretty big at the time because this is like around The Office.
The
being
Office, and this
Yeah.
is the Hitchhiker's Guide was happening
Yeah.
at the
Hitchhiker's
same
Guide
time.
is like on its way. Yeah.
Okay.
I knew who he was.
Okay.
He was big enough, and he was recently in Miller's Girl.
What?
We reviewed that on a live recap. It's the problematic
did.
movie with Jenna Ortega.
Yes.
Yeah, don't watch it. It's not
Oh,
good.
okay, no problem. But yeah, they bump into each other,
Yeah,
and it's
and I
the
love-
doppelganger of
this
each
is-
one.
They've all worked together, right? Isn't that how they pick the doppelgangers?
I think so.
I think it's all the people, like, because Simon Pegg and what's her name worked together in Space.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you go down the line, I think all of them have worked, like, they had Black Books people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Dave.
They
and-
had space
Okay.
people.
Yeah, like, I think that's how they kind of, like, I don't know all of the, I don't know all
Was
the
the
references.
one was the one woman the landlord from Spaced? I
Yes.
forget. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
Then.
And then
At least
they
I think
had
I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
Matt, what's his name?
At the back
At
of
the
the
very
line,
end,
the
I
very
was
back of the
like-
line, the guy who's huge, like he's Bill Bailey huge in the UK.
Yeah, he was
And
on
he was in my notes,
Bake
and I
Off.
didn't.
okay.
British Bake Off.
I didn't watch British.
He
He
was
was
in
he's
Pitch Perfect.
he's a big deal.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about.
He's a
He
big
looks
deal.
very different in this, but
He's
yeah.
the Nick Frost,
the weird
lookalike.
pig.
He's the one that says,
Yeah.
and,
No,
and the
he
shirt
isn't
that
this
says
weird.
"I
I'm trying to
heart."
think. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's got a little bit of hair, so like no
by the
one
way,
really
so yeah.
recognizes him.
Like so there's 2 types of like parodies you could do. You could do something like meta like this, Scream, and another one that I'm blanking. Or you could do something that's like Blazing Saddles or Scary Movie where it's just wacky jokes. this is the only time in the movie where it kind of goes in that territory, because it's like, okay, there's exact doppelganger, and they're all like, this is the one thing where like, okay, I think we're starting to turn into a different movie here, and it's funny, it's hilarious, but it does stand out compared to all the other stuff.
Yeah,
he finds a shortcut. This is where we get our first fence joke.
Yes, the fence joke. So good.
Okay, that was another thing when I first watched this. I was like going around showing people this movie when it came out, and like it never failed. People would lose their shit at the "You afraid of a shortcut?" and he just falls. And then they did it again.
And Hot Fuzz where Nick Frost just
did they do it in
straight
World's
through.
End?
They did, except on the third one, he does like flips and stuff. Like he's like an acrobat in that movie. They're just like, screw it. He messed up the first 2 times. Let's make him a gymnast.
So Barb gets attacked by a zombie. Sean goes and fights him. I love the thing with the ball and the
pajama zombie.
The idea, his like first thought is to like, I'll use this tiny little like plastic tether ball, and like the girls are like, what are you doing, dude?
No,
You got
stab him.
Yeah.
So that's a fun scene. He pins him up to the tree, and then he checks to see if there's any zombies around the Winchester.
Such another great reveal. The reveals in this movie are just.
And I just love that he goes up and he comes right back down the ladder, the slide. They're like, how many other lots?
Well, he's just about to cry when he says it.
They're like all at the Winchester.
Every zombie possible from the entire movie is there.
And this movie feels very intentional on all the camera shots, the framing, right? And I really like that because I know it's a style of you just set up 3 cameras and you let people run with it and then you just play around with it. I like this is like they had a shot list. This is the shot we need.
That was like a theory for when he did walk off Ant-Man. One of the theories I heard at the time is because he is so meticulous with storyboarding, and Disney and Marvel love to leave a lot of wiggle room so they can change things later on. Like, fucking, I don't know, Thor doesn't even. Well, he didn't wear a helmet in the other movies, but they finally had Thor wear a helmet in a movie. And I guess
you got to see his face.
Yeah, but I guess they couldn't decide on what helmet they wanted, so he has a CGI helmet.
Yeah.
And it's very noticeable. That's what those movies are starting to look like. So that was the theory back in the day where it's like he had a very strict thing. And they're like, no, you got to shoot extra stuff so we can play around with this. And that's why. I don't know if it's true.
He is like that, honestly.
But his movies are very tight and storyboard.
Like, I do a lot of video editing, and I still really love when the director's like, no, this is the shot, you know? Like, I think it's just...
I mean, there are times, like, if you're doing, like, an effects thing, it's good to get a lot of coverage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, yeah, for like, a smaller thing, you want to
get that gag, though. Like, you don't get that gag if you miss so many good beats. If you're just, we're going to get everything and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
If we ever do Baby Driver, I'm just saying I could talk for hours on that, too. But the way that he shot the opening like heist scene in Baby Driver, he was editing the movie the day while shooting it. Yeah. By the end of the day, that scene that they shot is done. It's edited already.
I've done that.
So that they could
do that with like Mommy Got Me and Craig.
So they could
together and
do the thing the next day.
Yeah.
So then the next day, it's like, oh well, this part of the movie's done already. Like, what do you mean? No, it's done.
Yeah.
It's done now. We already edited it because it's so intricate that if they don't edit it on set, it won't make sense.
Together. Which I can see why Marvel and Disney would have a problem with that. Like,
so he's very meticulous, but that's why I love him.
So Diane,
it's my favorite.
They're trying to figure out how they're going to get through, and Diane decides to teach them all to be zombies.
Oh, that's right. She's an actress.
She's an actress, a failed actress.
Yes.
Although she's not according to Sean. She's not a failed actress. But yeah, she's teaching them. Like, Sean's is pretty good. Yeah. Ed's like, I'll do it on the night. I'm like, this is the night. I like that Barbara is just zoned out and they think that she's good. Like, Barbara, that's great. She's like, sorry, I was
miles away.
So yeah, they act like the zombies and it actually works.
Yeah.
Right? That's what my question is. Is like, is it a visual cue?
No.
Is it it's obviously not a smell for the zombies.
No.
They're not like dogs.
I think they need to they need if that person's walking normally and talking, I can't do that, so they must be a human.
Right? Like, they must be like they tone out zombie noises and then because it's when they fight is when the zombies notice them, right? I'm gonna say it's audio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So yeah, they get to the door, but it's locked, and they can't get in. And they're freaking out, and then Ed takes a phone call at the worst time to his like drug dude.
Right.
He's like, and the dude's
He's asking him if has weed.
He's like, nah, I ain't got nothing. I'm in the middle of something, right? And Shaun screams, and they realize all the zombies are watching them.
God. And that when they turn around for that reveal, it's like
Yeah.
it's actually a little bit scary,
And
finally.
then
Yeah.
fucking Dave, an asshole, like throws the trash can through the window, and they're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "We got to get in there." He's like, "No, they'll follow us." So
And the flowers fall out of the trash can.
yes,
As he throws it in there.
I like Barb
Yes.
is just like, I think these are for me. So Shaun decides he's going to distract the zombies. Like, go in there. I'll be back. I'm going to get them out of here. And one of the zombies is Tires from space, the drugged out bike messenger from space. There's this character. He was like a courier, and he was also like their drug dealer or whatever.
Nice.
And in space, he would come in, but he was always hopped up on something. So he would just hear sounds and think it was music and just like pretend it was music. And he's playing a zombie version of his character in this.
Yes. Okay.
He's got the little hat on and he's wearing the bike outfit.
Nice.
Wait, the Reverend Green?
Is he the Reverend Green in the other ones?
Yeah.
He is in the other ones.
The bike messenger zombie in Shaun of the
Yes.
Dead is Reverend Green in
Yeah.
The World's End.
But I'm saying this zombie is his character from space as a
Okay.
zombie.
I gotcha.
So yeah, they're waiting for Shaun to get back. Dave is yelling at all of them because he's an asshole. This movie really makes you hate Dave.
Yeah.
But he also foreshadows exactly how Shaun is going to return and exactly
Yes.
what he's going to say.
Yeah.
His first and just it's good.
But like the movie also wanted you to hate Pete, but you kind of can't now because Pete is right. But Dave is an asshole.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
like,
yeah.
Dave, like as much as you wanted me to hate Pete, you are making me hate Dave, and he's totally deserves it. Also, he just looks like a dick.
Yeah.
They made him look like the douchiest they possibly could.
Yeah, Harry Potter's a dick.
He is.
So yeah, Shaun does make it back. He gave him the slip.
What's he going to do? Come back and eat hog lumps and have a drink and everything will just be fine? And he literally comes back.
Hog lumps.
But then they realized he didn't have a follow-up plan. I mean, his plan was to just wait for it all to blow over.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get Ed to do like the monkey thing. He won't
Yeah,
do
because they're
it.
just sitting in the dark. They're like, all right, now what?
Yeah. So-
Anybody want peanuts?
So the electricity comes back. The electricity's on outside. So they're like, all right, we got to switch the breaker. We can get some TV, learn what's happening. And then he goes in the back and he realizes all the zombies follow him.
Flipping the light switch as he
And
reveals
speaking
in the
of
back.
like the character doesn't see it until the camera does. I guess all the zombies weren't making sounds
Until the light
turned on.
and then you can hear the.
But I love that he just like pulls the curtain down and walks.
That's gonna help. And then you hear the door rattling because
the girls in there.
the other owner, and then my scene, the scene that made me just it's my favorite scene in the entire Shaun of the Dead movie. And if it wasn't for this scene, like I think I'd be a different person today.
Yeah. So they go back in. Ed borrows some money and plays the Dracula game. And I do like this one where they put their hands on the shoulders, and then John, the bartender, shows up,
Yes.
and fucking Queen turns
Queen
on
comes
random.
on tonight, and they yell, "Who put this on? It's on random!"
I love Kill the Queen. And Dave's like, what? No, the jukebox. And this scene is again. This is another one of the moments where I really fell in love. Like, oh wait, we're having a music video. Action.
Yes.
It's genius,
And it flows
I
so
love it.
well
It's
with
perfect.
the music too. And then
Song. It's like a song that's used a lot in movies in a similar way to this, but like I love it every single time. It's just so good.
So I made that song my entrance song for when I got married because I love that song.
I
so
remember
much.
that. I was there.
I entered the room to that song because of how much I love that song.
I went to your
because
wedding.
of this movie.
I went to your
was
wedding,
there.
Tom.
Good.
You were. I remember. You even signed
Sorry,
the thing.
Angela. Sorry.
Yeah, he skipped out on mine. So rude.
Well, actually, don't give me too much credit because technically I made it to Tom's reception. I
did.
actually missed the wedding part. I
Yeah,
was
he
running
did.
late.
okay, so that's only half.
And then he left early too. So,
So like a quarter.
so I saw Tony. I said hello, and that was Tony's experience in my wedding.
I hung out for a while. We danced a little bit. All right.
I know. I'm just kidding.
I did walk in. I'm like, I know we're wait. Maybe there's still. And then like you're like you walk out like the wedding had just got done. I'm like, well, we're in time to eat. I guess.
Cocktail hour it is.
That's the important part. It's fine.
Okay, so they're fighting John. I love Dave
in-
playing with the switches, and it turns into a light show, and the zombies
Yeah.
look like they're dancing.
It's so good.
So yeah, they're what do they try on him? They try the fire extinguisher. That doesn't work.
Which is the explode,
Yeah.
which is
And
synced
then
up with the music.
Diane's-
It's all synced up with the music,
Yeah,
which
it
makes it
is.
so much better.
Diane starts throwing darts. And
Yes, great.
And he goes, go, and it hits him. Hits Shaun in the head. He's like, ah. And then finally he gets handed the gun. There's been a long debate throughout the film. Is the gun above the bar activated? Because he thinks John is connected to the mob. And they're like, no, it's just for show. It's called the Winchester.
Well, he thinks dogs can't look up. So, like, how usable is his
so Shaun
opinion?
uses it to shove his head into the jukebox and kill him.
Yes.
But then the gun actually does fire. And, like, Ed is, like, vindicated. It's, like, the first thing he's been right about. And he's like, fine. But dogs can look up.
I have to just like side note on watching an entire movie set in a country that doesn't have guns is just very different for like that's just like in any American zombie movie. That's the first thing you go is the gun shop.
Yeah.
Everyone loads up.
I mean, they have, like, guns, but they're, like, more... I think you're allowed to have, like
like a
rifles
rifle,
for,
but
like, hunting. Yeah.
I just think like it was really fun in this one because you have so many of those moments of like throwing the records, throwing the
Yeah.
like very like found.
You're right. No one has, like,
weapons.
handguns.
No one's
there.
just got,
At
like...
least legally, but yeah.
You
No
know
one's
what I mean?
prepared.
Versus like, I mean, if when it's I'm thinking like, you know, like in Tremors, they're like, oh yeah, our neighbor has an elephant gun, and that's like how they just start the movie. And
Okay, well, no one has that many guns like
yes.
Tremor.
but like in America, you're like, oh, it's America, right? Like, but over
Well, that's
there,
why, like, Night of the Living Dead, toward the end, they're like, yeah, we're cleaning this up. We
Right.
got this. Once we realized what was happening, we just all got our guns.
Good, yeah.
started shooting.
so it's like I just thought it was really fun with like that.
Yeah.
The found weapons, you know, like just anything in arm's reach is a weapon because
Yeah.
they don't have that like
And I
go-to.
agree with everything you're saying, Angela. We have to protect the Second Amendment, and we're all going to be voting based off
Look,
that.
I'm
But I
saying
mean, let's not
purely
bring,
from
let's not
a
bring your
story.
agenda too much to the show. Okay, let's really try to.
I'm looking at this from a story
No,
perspective.
you're laying it on thick here. I'm picking up what Tony's putting.
Look, we had this whole talk before. I'm like, Angela, you can't wear the bandoliers with the bullets during the show. Come on.
Tony doesn't let me have fun, is basically what we're trying to say right now.
Anyway, no, that is like, I didn't actually think about that till now. That is a fun aspect
You're
to
the
it.
same
It's
way
like,
you think of like Zombieland. Everyone's got
Yeah.
guns.
Yeah.
Like every, you
Well, that's
know?
why it takes 4 people to operate the gun because
Yes.
nobody
No one knows
knows
how
what
to-
they're
Right, no one
doing.
knows.
oh yeah, they're like, who has experience? They're like, Ed shot his sister with an airsoft rifle.
With an air rifle when it was like that's it, and it was an accident. Like
Yeah.
your experience is one accident.
Yeah. So they're all teaming up together, and then we get a call back to the top left reload.
Yes,
shot.
which is the same shot from Spaced when they
Yeah.
have like the camera
Yeah, where it's, like, on
behind
the
the
gun.
gun barrel, which is such a cool shot.
So as the shootings happen, it's revealed that Barb was bitten.
Yes.
Which is a very... I love how this movie kind of killed zombie movies for me afterwards. Because it did, like, most of the cliches.
Yes.
Like, we got to get into a building with doors and shoot out windows. And we got to have the person who's bitten. And it worked for this. But then, like,
No,
zombie movies after that, I felt like they didn't try to reinvent themselves. Except for the Resident Evil movies where they're like, now it's a dragon. And you're like, what the fuck is
they
going on?
did whatever they wanted. All
I
right,
have
they-
mind powers and there's an octopus in my mouth. Like, okay, those were reinventing the wheel. But every other zombie movie, like even Zombieland, I'm like, all right, I kind of seen this shit before.
It's just another take on it. You know.
yeah.
It's still fun.
But it was like once all the like even slashers kind of had to reinvent themselves a little bit after
Yeah.
Scream. Like, okay, we
Yeah.
can't do so many of the same cliches.
Oh, okay.
But that's
I
it,
thought it was
yeah,
after
when
Jason X. But, all right, never mind. I could be mistaken when that timeline shifted.
Anyway, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, but like that's like the beauty of it being a parody film is like they can do the cliche.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like funny versus because they're doing a call like the same with like, you know, you can't say the Z word, right?
Yeah.
Because like in movies they just don't acknowledge that it's like this is a zombie movie, but we don't know what's wrong with people.
We don't know
right?
what zombies are.
Yeah, and so it's they do the call out, and so you can really appreciate that, and
Yeah.
then later on you watch it in a movie that's doing it seriously, and you're like, come on.
Yeah. Kind of takes, and this was so big and so popular. It's not like this is
Yeah.
a little movie no one saw. It's like a lot of people saw this. I was like, you really had to try with your zombie movies after this.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have this kind of like a big standoff where like Dave is like, we have to kill your mom. He's like, "You're not gonna kill my mom." They're like all screaming at
That's
each
the only
other.
time he said anything that was accurate.
Yes.
But
Yes.
but he said it because he gets a chance to kill his mom, and I'm pretty sure is why he was just like, well,
Yeah.
I get to do something against Sean
I do
finally.
like,
Right.
I do like the Mexican standoff where they all have like the weapon, but I like that Diane's like, "This isn't fair." So Ed gives her his broken bottle and then gets
Yeah, and they use exacerbate again
Yes.
they're all trying to use the word exacerbate.
the whole time. This is the perfect time to use it. Just not
Yes.
exactly fair.
But yeah, even Liz is just like, is this where they call out Dave for being in love with Liz, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And he's like,
Simon's, like,
he's like,
crying.
"What?" And they're like, "No, we all know, you
Get
dumb
it.
asshole."
And like Diane knows, like
Yeah.
everyone, she's just like, I've accepted it. It's fine. They never like go into her story. I'm like, girl, you can do better.
Yeah.
Why are you settling for
She-
this?
Well, she didn't think she could. Failed actress,
That could
psychologically.
also
she
be, I
needs
mean-
to learn.
It's one thing to like date like an asshole and stuff, but like an asshole who's in love with your friend who's also your roommate. It's like, oh, you're seeing her every day. Like,
Torturing. This
right?
is torture.
Wouldn't that just be like
It's torture.
every moment?
I couldn't do that. I couldn't be like, I have to live with this person. I'm like, no, I'm moving. I can't do this. So yeah, they finally, cooler heads prevail.
Yes.
And Sean's like, okay, I'm gonna shoot my own, because now she's full on zombie.
Right.
Well,
I mean, you have
this is
to.
after he takes the gun.
No,
And
well, no, Dave gives the gun to Sean. He's like, here, you should do it.
He tries to shoot Sean.
That's afterwards.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm misremembering.
Sorry. Yeah, so he gives him the gun. He does shoot his mom. It's very sad. Though he does have some like genuine sad moments. I know
Yeah.
At the time I remember people saying like the second half was too serious, and I don't think so. There's this moment and then like it's kind of sad afterwards, but like they're still doing jokes here and there.
Well, anything with
yeah.
Ed,
Yeah.
Exactly.
comic relief, you know.
Yeah, I could see this is like a little rough for a horror comedy, like having to shoot your zombie mother.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah.
I wrote down was, would you shoot your zombie mom? Question mark.
Zombie mom? Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
I think I would say someone needs to shoot her, but I don't want to be the one. Like
Yeah,
I don't like the shooting isn't sad because she's already a zombie, right?
Wow, now you're just making me sad. Jeez.
I'm just saying, her turning into a zombie is what would make me really sad, and then be like, someone take care of this because I don't want all of us to turn into zombies. Like after that, it gets into like a practical.
Look, I love my mom, but once she's a zombie, all bets are off.
Practically speaking,
So you're right. When your guys' moms turn to zombies, call me
okay,
up. I'll
perfect,
come
thank
over.
you. I don't want to.
I'll put
I
you on speed
acknowledge
dial.
it needs to happen.
There's
I just-
when a zombie apocalypse happens, you are now stage 3. All right, thank you. Step 1 was find my marksman friends. Step 2 is
Okay,
find
go.
shelter. Step 3 is find Tony. Because he's gonna
my
make the hard decisions
He is,
for me.
yeah.
Oh, good idea. You call me over. I show up and I like shoot. You're like, Tony, that was my aunt. I'm like, oh, I forgot what your mom looked like. I haven't seen her in a while.
Like in
You just shoot at people, willing it, just like, oh yeah, no.
you see the old school Treehouse of Horror when the zombie one.
Oh yeah.
He shot the zombie Flanders. He was a zombie.
Zombie Flanders.
So good.
It's just so good. See, zombies are just wonderful. That is the first zombie thing I've seen. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That episode.
So yeah, they argue again. Dave gets the gun. This is when he tries to kill Sean.
Yes.
And then he's embarrassed.
Well, because he's embarrassed because everyone just like called him out. And
Yeah.
and then
And he's like, okay, I'm leaving. And they're like, don't leave. Even Diane's like, you do not leave right now and apologize before you can do that. The zombies come in. And then it's basically Joe Pilato's death from Day of the Dead with the zombies just ripping off his insides and pulling the intestines.
so good.
Yeah.
Such good practical effects.
I love that like Diane just snaps because
She
it's,
does.
it's not even there's no even wiggle room that he might be alive. All his limbs came off and his head came off. She's like, I'm coming, and it's like, no, he's dead. He's dead.
Even though it's later revealed that she makes it.
She does.
She uses the leg to
And then
make it across the street, climbs a tree,
and then she eats it.
and then eats the leg to survive because she passes out while the ending happens. She passes
Okay.
out. So
Yeah.
she wakes up and everyone's gone, not realizing she's in a quarantine zone. She stays in the tree and continues to eat his leg.
What are the other ones? It's like there's the one with the slip,
The slip.
and then the other one I think was it Ed with the car? How he totals the car.
I don't think so.
I forgot to rewatch them. I will watch
I forgot
them
what
before.
the third one is.
But I remember she lives technically, which is
Yeah.
funny. So yeah, the shit's hit the fan now.
Yeah.
Zombies are everywhere.
Well, they're all coming in left and
They're
right.
all coming in.
They're not safe anymore.
Pete shows up, and I like that Ed's like, look what I found.
Like he's so happy about it. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
By the way, how strong is Liz? Because she's got like the coat rack, and she's holding back
like
10 zombies. And like, while all this emotional stuff's happening, she's like, "No, someone please help me."
Yeah.
But Pete bites Ed. And then the girl bites his
bartender.
neck. And I remember, like, the first time I saw this, because you really like Ed as an
Yeah.
asshole teenage boy. Ed is very, very likable. And when he gets killed, you're like, oh no, he's dead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
It's very
shit.
upsetting.
I'm like, now they can't make a sequel because he's kind of the best part of the movie.
Yeah, and then he dies over the bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they hide behind the bar, and he's like, Ed, and Ed jumps over, and he's like, what? And he's like,
He's just like, yeah, I know, I got out of that situation
worry.
somehow, real easy.
Sean, he thinks he's being smart, lighting the fire in the bar, but he leaves all the shells.
Shells, specifically.
Shells.
And this I think is a callback to Dawn of the Dead, because there's that scene where Flyboy is like shooting in the boiler room and the bullets are ricocheting, and I think it kills that zombie on accident.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's a callback to that, because then the porn star is like about to eat them,
Yeah.
and the bullet hits her right in the head.
But he's like, well, can't we catch a break? He says something about
Yeah,
being like,
can't just a fucking
break, and then it goes, and he's like, oh, okay, let's go into
So they go in the cellar, which is probably where they should have went in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I don't know why they didn't go there right away. They go
Well,
in
just
there-
like you always get to like the final.
Yeah.
When in a horror type thing, you get to the final spot until
Yeah.
you're backed into a corner. You know.
Yes. Or you get in a helicopter and drive away. There's two different endings you get. So yeah, they're barricaded down there, and they're basically like, shit, we only have 2 shells left. They can't figure out how to get up the lift. They're like, what are we gonna do? And they're figuring out how they're gonna kill themselves, like Mist style. This was a few
Yeah.
years before the Mist.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we can shoot you and shoot me. And I love that she's just like, oh, I'm gonna mess it up if I do it myself.
Right.
I'll just mess it up. You're
They
gonna
also
have to do
have a
it.
rifle, which is like,
Yeah, that's kind of
Not
a
a-
hard.
yeah, I feel like Ed needs to be involved.
And they
in
also
this
has to
help him
figure
out.
that now Sean's character has to shoot his best friend.
Yeah, he
Like,
says
Right, yeah,
that.
yeah.
But
Like,
but then
I'm gonna
I like
shoot-
how Ed
What?
goes, I don't mind being eaten, and then a minute later he goes, nah, I changed my mind. I'd
Yeah.
like to get
I'd
shot.
like
Yeah.
to be killed now, please. While he's bleeding out in the corner. Like,
Yeah. But luckily, Liz kept the cigarettes because they have to have one smoke. And then Sean's like, we're dating again. It's like, you don't want to die single. It's like, I don't think it matters at this point. But yeah, they go to light the cigarette and they realize that, oh, there's the button to get out.
Again, with that reveal of like very close to his face,
Yeah.
she should have seen it, but the camera didn't see it yet.
It was dark.
I
Her
will
eyes
totally-
didn't adjust to the dark
That
yet.
is true. I take it because I just think it's so beautifully shot. I will
It is.
accept it.
And then Ed finally matures a little bit. He's like, no, just leave me. I mean, he kind of doesn't have a choice. He's like, I'm going to hold you back. And that's what I do. And then he farts.
Yeah, I was about to say, how mature are we talking? Because
Fart.
like a moment after that, he
Well, Ed prior to this would be like, yeah, don't leave me. But like this Ed's like, no, I'm done. I'm done. And then they tell him they love him. He calls them gay again.
Yeah.
I love you too, man.
Gay.
Yeah, then they're in the street full of zombies. You think that's the end?
they're about to.
That is a nice like pullback with all
Yeah.
the zombies, and then Yvonne shows up.
Yep.
Just beats the shit out of all the
And-
like the military guys are coming.
Yeah, just
Now we bring out the guns.
unloading on
Yeah.
them.
And it's like, oh, Sean, why didn't they go with Yvonne? I don't understand why they didn't just walk with her.
She didn't say, they're like, yeah, we've got a plan. And her plan, she wasn't like, yeah, me too. I know the military. Like, that
Yeah.
would have been a key moment.
I'm like
Yeah.
kind of
Bring that
involved
up.
with like the people doing. They're like, oh, we're going to the Winchesters. Like, oh, good luck.
Yeah, she just like, okay.
Well, she
yeah.
even knew that it was a terrible idea.
So they get saved, and then we get 6 months later. I love like in zombie movies, it just kind of ends. I
Yeah.
love in this we get to see the aftermath of it. So it was taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a day. They say it was like a day where it was a problem for a day.
Yeah.
And then they
Z-Day.
Z Day, yes. In the newer Godzilla movies, the American ones, they always call the first movie G Day, and it just reminds me of this Z Day.
A good day?
No, it's Godzilla Day. When
Good
he,
day,
like, arrived. So yeah, we see how the world has changed. The zombies are either dead
Yeah.
or used as labor or entertainment.
Yeah, we even get an Edgar Wright cameo.
Yeah, which one?
He is just a stumbling zombie. He's known
Yeah.
as the pratfall zombie, is what he was, I think, officially
also-
titled as.
We also get a Coldplay cameo. They're the one. They have they're the band, and it says Zombade. That's Coldplay. And then Trish, the daytime talk. That's a real
Yeah.
daytime talk show, or it was. And I love there's one where like the girl is still married to the
To
zombie.
the zombie, yes.
You go to bed with it? Yeah, it's in the trailer.
Yeah. I just love the idea though of like how real is this moment of like we gotta monetize these people, right?
Yeah,
like
of course.
they're working at Walmart. They're on TV. Like
I'm sure the families wouldn't have anything to say about their dead loved ones being exploited.
right?
And pushing shopping carts from
Yeah.
beyond the
I do
grave.
love the first one, like,
Right.
the story of an 8-year-old boy who killed his
His whole family.
Like,
So
it's-
good.
Yeah. It just feels like like of all of this movie, like this is the most
Yeah.
believable moment.
Also, I think Edgar Wright is also the voice on the TV that's like the rumor that it was started by monkeys has turned out to be complete, and then it cuts him off
yeah.
before he curses. So Liz lives with Shaun now at their flat, and it's nice now. It's nice and clean. They have a plan for the day. I like in the back they have like Shaun's parents and Diane, and I don't think they have anything for Dave. I don't
No.
think he has a picture in the back.
No.
Even though technically Diane's alive, but it's like Dave's
Yeah.
just gone.
No.
They're like, oh yeah, that other guy died. He's really like what was that? Speaking of Simpsons, Homer's enemy, Rick Grimes.
Oh,
Everyone, like, no
right.
one, everyone treats him like shit. And then this funeral, no one even
It
cares.
was like
That's our Homer.
yeah, right, yeah.
But Shaun has to go into the shed. Turns out he kept Ed alive.
Yes.
This is one of the plot
That's-
holes. So they left Ed the gun.
Yes.
And in his story, he's just like, I was able to shoot 5 zombies at once with 1 bullet.
And
they
then
even like make a note though. They're like, if we line them up, we could get a
Yeah.
Yep.
But apparently Shaun went back and found him and like lured him back to the shed.
Yeah, like at some night, like under nightfall. It's just like, yeah, I went back the next day just to see, and he was still there, buried under a bunch of bodies or whatever,
Yeah, but
rolling
Liz,
around.
by the way, Liz knows about it because you hear her go, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's like, could I go to the garden?
Yeah.
I love the garden. That's just backyard, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm like, there are no plants in this garden. No veggies.
Yeah, then it ends with Queen, You're My Best Friend, and
yeah.
it's a great fucking time. It still holds up 20 years later.
It's an
really
amazing
does.
still
movie.
holds up.
Love it.
It's such a great time. It's one of the best zombie movies I've ever seen. Probably my favorite zombie movie after Hack the Living Dead, of course.
Of course.
Which will be your favorites when you watch it.
It is. It already is.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I worked really hard on it.
I'll bet you did.
Shot for 2 days. Worked
It
really
shows.
The funny thing is, my friend who did all the news stuff, he's in the movie more than me. Like, I'm like, wait, I'm not even the only
little
main character.
conceited.
in My own.
Wow.
I filmed that whole thing when my eye was all fucked up, but it's black and white, so you can't tell that my eye is all fucked up. Anyway, yeah, I loved it. It gave us Edgar Wright.
Yeah,
Who's
it
gone on
did.
to
It
make
gave
some
us a
great-
lot of good things.
Yes,
Yeah.
and circling back to Mission Impossible.
Yes.
When Simon Pegg was like kind of blowing up in America, they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, you're gonna do this? You're gonna do this?" He made a joke. It's like, guys, I'm not gonna be in like Mission Impossible 3 or whatever. And sure enough, they got him for Mission Impossible 3, and he's been in every Mission Impossible movie since then.
Oh my God,
Which I remember when
love
Mission,
it.
because I saw that quote. I remember when Mission Impossible came out. I'm like, you got to be kidding me! They got him for this. He's Benji in the movies.
So good.
Yeah, then we got Simon Pegg and Nick Frost out of it.
Yeah,
I finally
Nick Frost,
I finally
oh,
met
man.
Nick Frost a few years back. at a
I met
convention.
Nick Frost a few years back as well. Maybe
Yeah.
we were at the same time, huh?
What?
Shit, which convention was it?
It was in Philly.
It was at Oaks where Too Many Games was.
Yeah,
but it was
we
some
were
kind of
we
comedy.
were there the same. Okay.
I don't know if we went the same day.
we were there at the same
Yeah.
convention because we both met him.
Shaun of the Dead, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
A few years later, they did Hot Fuzz.
Yes.
And I was like, I told myself I
Amazing.
have to make a point to see every Edgar Wright movie in theaters, but then I think Soho came out around lockdown. and
It's okay.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's a good movie, but you don't.
I will see it.
I'll watch it with you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks. We're gonna watch
You'll
it.
like it.
We're gonna watch it right
Well,
now.
okay, perfect.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, and I just you obviously I think you like it more than me, Tom.
What?
Shaun of the Dead?
It's in the top 5. Same with Baby Driver and Hot Fuzz. You know what? I think I might like Edgar Wright.
Yeah, he's
Little
pretty
bit.
good. He's pretty good.
A little bit.
How about you? Where are you falling on this one?
I would not put it in my top 5, but I do really like it. I remember liking it, and then I liked it even more on this rewatch. I was like, oh wait, this is really good.
Yes. Yeah, it's a good one to like not watch for a while and come back, because then you forget some of the little stuff. And it's like, oh, like when I was watching again, like it's been like 2 or 3 years since I watched it, and I put it on again. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Every Halloween, you got to watch it. That's how it is for me.
That's pretty good one, yeah.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind, when it came out, I was watching it like every single day. I was watching this movie a lot. But no, it really got me into Edgar Wright, who was a big film guy. So like through him and following him, I learned about all these other films and whatnot. And I will say, go back and watch Spaced.
Yes.
It's on Tubi. It's free at the time of this recording.
It's on
I
free.
feel like you'd really like
It's
it.
on Freevee as well.
Freevee.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I know what that is.
Okay.
Yes. It was on Netflix for a bit, but if you love Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, go back and watch Space. It's probably my favorite thing Edgar Wright's ever done. It is phenomenal. It's got so many good episodes.
Yeah.
The paintball episode is one of my favorites.
But this movie's like so prolific. Honestly, they even made a Juan of the Dead. They made an entire other
I forgot
movie
they made a Spanish
called
language remake.
Juan of the Dead.
I've never seen it.
really?
It's like they redid it, but it's not shot for shot, but it's not a reimagining. It's just
the same movie.
It's basically Shaun of the Dead, but it's Juan of the Dead,
Oh my god.
and
I
everything
love
is
it.
replaced just with Spanish
I've
type
been
of.
Yeah, yeah.
son of a bitch.
Locations
You hit
and all
the
that.
Star Trek 5 tape now.
I got something against
you
Star
hit
Trek.
the
You do.
display, and now look, it's not a good movie, but stop being violent toward it. All
Never,
right.
you can't make me. No, they made Juan of the Dead. Like there's a big.
That's like old school. That like the old school Dracula. They
Yeah.
at night filmed it with all Spanish speaking
They
cast.
shot at the same time.
Same everything, and they
But that
just,
reminds me of like Breaking Bad a few years back was remade. I think it only did like one season. They made like a Spanish Breaking Bad remake.
Oh, really?
They do that a lot. Like other countries will do like remakes of shows. You probably
Yeah.
you usually don't hear them. Like there's like 10,000 offices. At one
I
point,
can
like
see
every
that.
country had its own office. Only the American one took off.
That's
but
crazy. Yeah, no, the Juan of the Dead. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm gonna hunt that down.
It's good. No, it's definitely worth a watch. Like
look
it's fun. It's Shaun of
'Cause
the
I don't
Dead, but it's
mind-
Juan
Yeah.
of the Dead.
I don't mind
It's-
remakes when it comes to being like, here's what the story would look like in this country.
Yeah.
I don't mind that too much. Other
No.
than like, let's just, what is it? The most pointless remake I've ever seen was like I love David Fincher, but Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
I was gonna say
Oh, I
AVP
know.
too.
And I was
but-
like, but this movie already exists. I'm like, oh, did he localize and put it in a different country? It's like, oh no, they're all just speaking English in the wrong country. I'm like, why is this like it exists? It's right
Yeah.
there. It's not even a year old.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a good one.
But anyway, that is it from us. Tom, where can we find you?
You can find me at crithitpro.com for my production company, Critical Hit Productions.
I'm gonna go to you for all my video production needs.
As you should.
Okay, Angela, where can we
Perfect.
find you?
I have a video studio in South Philly, so you can follow me at Angela Wolf Video.
Oh, I will go to you for all my video production needs.
Hey,
oh
wait.
shit, I booked 2 of them on the same. Fuck.
We'll talk later.
I will go to whoever is available the day I need it first.
That's convenient.
It's really convenient.
Very convenient.
But yes, I've used both of their services, and I enjoy both of them.
Wait, our server. Is this it?
Video services.
Okay.
Shoot, what the fuck?
I don't know. You
You
said
said-
it.
Did we do something, Tom, that I don't remember?
Yes, we did. Remember the hot tub? Do you not remember the hot tub? You remember the hot tub.
I do remember. Oh my god! I thought you were making. I'm like, oh shit! Yeah, that weird short that we were.
We had a weird time in a hot tub.
Let's not talk.
It was
about
very PG, actually.
It was very PG.
It
Let's
was
not talk
incredibly
about it. It was a very confusing thing.
It was just weird.
I forgot that it was shot like right over there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's like down the street.
I haven't talked to that person forever.
They don't live here anymore.
That makes sense. All right, that is it from us. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us. Use Angela's studio. Use Tom's camera. Use both. Book Tom, but bring him to Angela's studio to shoot.
Perfect.
Quality right here in a pair.
And then hire me as the actor, because I have so much experience, like in Hack the Living Dead, which is available on this YouTube channel. And let us know what you think of Shaun of the Dead. Let us know if we should do the other Cornetto movies.
I might come back.
At least Hot Fuzz. We have to at least do Hot Fuzz.
I have a lot more to complain about. Not Hot Fuzz. So.
Wait, what?
The World's End.
Oh yeah, no, World's End. We'll get to World's End. I'm more excited to talk about Hot Fuzz. Have you seen Hot Fuzz?
So long ago, I really couldn't tell you anything about it.
If you had fun with Shaun of the Dead, watch Hot Fuzz.
Okay.
Watch some cop movies and then watch Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, I feel that I feel like I hadn't watched enough cop movies before I watched this in a very large group of people talking the whole time, so I really don't know if that counts.
and by the way, speaking of like how it's so different over there, that's a cop movie parody, but in a country where you're not allowed to have guns.
Yes, that's
so
right.
it's like it's very funny how they do the whole cop thing there. It has a action montage for paperwork. That's how good it is. But yeah, that's it from us. Goodbye.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.